Here we go.
Hey, howdy, hey, it's yet another day with Stick Drift. You're listening to us. We are a bi weekly show where we talk about the world of video games and the culture surrounding them. My name is Power Glover, and we're doing just a duo podcast for the first time in a
Yeah,
while. We got
been
Noah
a minute.
back.
Yep.
Yeah, it's been a minute. We had Drake last time, and then the time before we had Slade.
Yep.
So getting back to just the boys, just the
That's right.
drifters.
We're drifting.
They're guest. Yeah, we're drifting. We got guest drifters that come every
Yeah,
once in a while, but
that's chill. Yep.
yeah. Yeah, it's chill, but it does make the podcast almost 4 hours long, which is about what the other one was, which is
Yeah.
cool. It's cool, but it was kind of brutal going to bed that night. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. If you like this pod or you hate this pod, please would you rate this pod? Follow the Rule Cool and leave a like on that mic. You can find us at YouTube on Stickdrift Pod YT, on Twitter/X at Stickdrift YT, and lastly on our Facebook page Stickdrift. We are also on Spotify. Each of our content has its own channel, so for a specific podcast, please subscribe to each to make sure you get the newest audio content in your feed. We talked about this just a little bit ago. We are finally, it is March now. We beat this game in what? And fall of last year, Dark Souls?
I think it was summer of last year.
Was it summer?
unfortunately.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I
We're
was
so bad.
I
at
was
this.
still living in my old apartment.
Oh my gosh, you're right. You
Yeah.
were. That's so wild. But
I
we're
have all
looking to
the
finally
footage
record
from
that
it.
pod. So yeah.
The
Yeah.
footage is from the footage is from June. Yep.
June, insane.
Mid-June. Yep.
Insane. Wow. Wow. Well, I remember how that game goes. You definitely do. So it's not gonna be too hard to remember.
Yep.
Our time with it. I might need some jogging of the memory because you just have a better memory than I do.
I've
full
also
of
played that
holes
game
from
probably
being-
like 5 times the amount of times you've played through that thing at least. So
almost certainly. But there's a lot of good anecdotes there. And seeing the footage is gonna help me like go like, oh right, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
So yeah, we played it as we've mentioned on this podcast. We played it through Game Chat, Nintendo's hot new Discord that they figured out. Their Xbox Live camera they figured out, you know. We did that. And yeah, we're gonna record something next week finally. It's gonna be pretty extensive. We're gonna take our time on it and treat it with the care that it deserves. And it'll be an ongoing series. I think we're just gonna do Dark Souls 2 after that. And we'll kind of go from there. That's kind of the plan. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. It's gonna be in fancy schmancy, new layout. It'll probably be in the Crash Course feed. No, is that kind of what we decided?
yeah, I think that's what we decided. Yep.
Okay, we're calling it the Golden Series, like something Golden Series. We'll figure out title and naming. I need to go back to that thumbnail and actually mess around with it a little bit more. But anyway, that's for me to do later. That's not for tonight. So.
Yeah, we hope to kind of make it into like a recurring thing where we go through like some of our like shared favorite series and just kind of pick through them. We'll probably eventually do one for Final Fantasy, I'd wager, at some point. Yeah.
Yeah, probably. I think so. Especially, you know, that'd be a good thing to like rub Drake into, for instance, because he's literally just going front to back on him. So, yeah. Well, I would have to play 2 next, which you know how that.
I would have to play 2 as well. Oh gosh.
Yeah. Well, I'll have an easier time than you because I'm playing the Pixel remaster.
Yep.
But
yep.
Anyway,
it's
we'll see how it goes.
Not great. The way I'm choosing to play that is not the greatest, but it offers a different perspective. So
it's a dedication to the craft. All right, you're a craftsman of dealing with PlayStation 1 bull crap. So I commend you for that, for your service. Speaking of not great, I've been just kind of like honestly just drifting. I've just been drifting. I've been just like not feeling games. I'm like in one of these moments where just like life has been a little bit busy. I've been just getting into other stuff a little bit. It's not that I haven't been playing stuff. I have stuff to talk about. It's not that. But I always hit these periods at least once a year. And you know, you hit it from time to time too, where it's just like something is just not sticking with you. And I'm happy to say something did stick with me this week, which is good. But yeah, I'm just kind of like, I don't know about you. Are you feeling something similar?
Yeah, I was almost there. Let's just say I don't want to like see another JRPG for a little bit. I think I've JRPG'd myself out, and I can.
That's okay.
I'll get into.
You've probably played a couple years worth.
Yeah. But
yeah, we'll see how it goes with all that stuff. But yeah, you know what? Let's just get into it. I mean, you've been playing a lot of long games. That's what you've been doing. I think it's been mostly good from what I've heard.
Yeah.
It's just like really time consuming. But I guess like talk about like first of all, I want to know how long you spent with this genre recently. Do you know that off the top of your
I
head,
have
or can you
no
guess?
blessed idea. It has to
No,
be at least around, like, if we're talking like since I started this kick of JRPGs, it has to be at least 500 hours, right? At
I
least.
was gonna say because
Yeah.
you beat two Persona games, you
Yeah.
beat one and a half Monster Hunter Stories games, you beat a new game that new-ish game that we'll talk about in a minute, and some random like Touhou stuff. Like you've been
Yeah.
jumping around
Well, and
places.
before that, I was playing the Final Fantasy stuff. I was playing like 9
That's
and
right.
then
Mm-hmm.
4 and then
Yeah,
5 and then 1 and
right.
then I didn't finish 2. 2 was like my breaking point. I was like, I can't
Attempted.
do this.
Attempted.
I attempted to,
Yeah.
yeah. It wasn't
Yeah.
even that I
That's
got
wild.
stuck. I just wasn't enjoying it. So I'm like, yeah, I'm just
Mm-hmm.
not gonna do this right now.
Right. Yeah, that's insane. I mean, 500 hours sounds about right for as much as I've heard that you played. So,
Yeah.
um, I guess before we get into the thing that you have been tackling, was an RPG. Of those that you played, which one was kind of your favorite?
Obviously I've got a soft spot for Final Fantasy 9. I've got a soft spot for Persona 3. I played the
Hmm.
Reload version, which I don't think I quite
Yeah,
like that version as much as like the portable or fast versions, but I do like that version. It's good. Um, and then Final Fantasy 5 was kind of a sleeper hit. I really liked that one. Um, so yeah, those would be the ones that kind of stood out of all the things I was playing recently.
gotcha, gotcha. Yeah, JRPGs all the time for Noah. That's kind of. I feel like he's like crawling out of his JRPG bunker. Um, and seeing what poking around and seeing what other games there are,
Yeah.
Um, and you got it back into a habit, which is good. We'll talk about that next. But I guess the last one that you got to was Live Alive, right? Or is
Yep.
it Live Alive? It's Live Alive, isn't it?
Live Alive. Yeah, I think so. That sounds right. Or Live
Okay.
Alive? I don't know.
I think I'm like 90% sure it's Live Alive. That's what I've heard the most.
Yeah.
Um, I
Um,
guess doesn't really matter. But what did you
no.
think of that?
It's good. It's good. It's kind of like a cross between Chrono Trigger and Octopath Traveler. That's kind of the best way I can describe that thing.
Hmm.
It's pretty all right. It's since it came out before either of those things. It in terms of like the original release for the SNES, the Japanese only SNES release. It's a it definitely feels more like a kind of like a prototype game than like a full game. Like it has a it has a lot of ideas, but all of these ideas aren't very fleshed out. They just threw a bunch of ideas into a game, and so they're all just like almost like mini games, like mini stories that you play through.
They're vignettes. They're basically vignettes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, and I was playing the remake that they put out fairly recently. I was playing that on Steam, but I actually also own it on Switch. That's where I first tried playing it, but I just kind of fell off it on Switch, and so I came back to it on Steam, and yeah, it was pretty good. It just it made me want to play other games. It came under that sort of sin of it's so similar to things that I like that I kind of just want to go and play those things that I like rather than play this thing. So, but it was interesting enough. It had some cool characters. I like the like cowboy character. He's pretty cool. And the ninja character's pretty cool. The like Street Fighter type character's pretty cool. The little robot guy's pretty cool. Yeah. So
Oh, is he? Is he? Yeah, yeah. Okay, get into the robot guy, Noah. What do you think about the robot guy?
so
This is
so
I'm leading into something. So
yeah, I basically the spoilers ahead. There's a final section of the game where you get to recruit all of the different characters throughout the game for like a final story basically, and so you have to go around this world and recruit them all. And I I thought it would be funny to just beat the game without recruiting the robot guy. And so I had a
but why did you feel that way? Because you were memeing, right?
yeah, I there was a friend who wanted who really likes this game basically. And
Slade, by the
so
way.
yeah,
Spoilers.
I was messing with him, and so I was like, "Oh no, I don't know how to get the robots, so I'm just gonna go complete the game without him." And so I did. I completed the game without him, and I was like, "Yeah, okay, cool. I completed the game." And then I went back and reloaded my save and went and got the robot and completed the game proper. But it turns out there's actually an achievement for completing the game without all the characters. So I guess I played the game correctly after all. So
Wow.
I got all the achievements in that thing because of that. I would have missed that achievement if I hadn't done that. But yeah, it was a pretty good game though. The story's kind of like it was it's a product of its time sort of story. So like the main overarching story I would say is like the final story is it's a bit cliche, I guess. It it's they're just trying to like, subvert the traditional, JRPG norm or whatever. But this is like SNES era, like trying to subvert that. So by like modern standards, it's like, oh yeah, this is Octopath / Gaudia Quest. So like yeah, shout outs to everyone who loves Gaudia Quest. I know we have a lot of listeners
all
who
three
are
of you.
huge Gaudia Quest fans, and I
yeah,
I have solidarity with you guys. Gaudia Quest is awesome.
There are literally dozens of you, I'm sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Just just enjoy that that credit skip in Timbuktu, you know exactly where it is by heart. So
Yeah, that I remember when that hit. Yeah,
yeah.
I'm a Gaudia Quest liker. You know me.
Oh yeah, Gaudia Quest is your jam. I get it.
Yeah, yeah, you do get it.
Man, Gaudia Quest is so cool. We gotta you gotta play through Retro Game Challenge so we can talk about Gaudia Quest.
I'm trying to get through the other games you've recommended me first. I'm playing parts of 3 of them right now, so I'll get around to it. There you go.
All right, but that's Live Alive. Yeah, it's a good game. It's a good game. Play it, but don't play it if you haven't played like I don't know, like Octopath Traveler, because that's kind of just better. In my opinion.
Yeah.
Um,
well, it's a weird thing because like they remade this. This had never been. I don't think did this come to the States. I don't know if it ever.
Live Alive SNES never came to the States. It was only in Japan for the original SNES release. That SNES release is actually like it was pretty early on in the SNES's life cycle. So it's actually kind of like a rough looking game too. Like it looks more like a NES game than a SNES game. We'll put it that way.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I need to look at that.
Yeah.
That's cool. I like seeing old stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's like it should look better, but they just didn't have that unlock like that. Yeah. That's interesting. Okay, yeah, Live Alive. I got this on. I think I have this on PlayStation. I've been meaning to get to it at some point. It's one of those things where like I want to finish like the mainstays first in the genre, like the Dragon Quest, the Final Fantasy, whatever, like the Bravely Defaults of the world before I play that because that's kind of like a, hey, you play this after you've done all the homework. It feels like a little bit, at least to me, that's how it feels. Of course, I could just go play it, but like I don't know, I'm weird about that stuff. So, whatever. But yeah, Live, you like that game?
That's I only played it so I could play Touhou Live. That was my sole reason for even playing that thing, which is a RPG Maker fan game mixing Live and Touhou. And I got most of the way through that game, but then I was like, man, I'm literally just playing Live Alive again. Like, I got to like the final chapter, and I'm like, okay, I'm just kind of gonna put this thing down for now. I don't know if we'll go back to it, but it was fun. It was interesting enough, but I was having fun with it because I like the Touhou property. But I was like, yeah, I'm just playing Live Live again, but in RPG Maker, so it's like a worse way to play that thing. So
yeah. Touhou. So you said Touhou. What was it called?
Touhou Alive.
Touhou Alive. Okay, so Touhou Mother is something separate.
That's something
correct?
different, yeah. So I played that before I played Live Alive or Touhou Alive. I played Touhou Mother, and I'm kind of an op for like Mother and Earthbound. Well, I kind of like Mother okay, but I didn't like Mother 2, which is Earthbound, very much. I never played Mother 3, but the so I was like, oh, I'll just play Touhou Mother because I like Touhou, so maybe I'll like this. And I ended up actually really liking it. It was actually a lot of fun. I had some really good quips in there, and a lot of references to just a ton of different Nintendo properties. So yeah, it was kind of a blast actually. I kind of recommend Touhou Mother. It's pretty good. There's a sequel as well. I think it's called like Return to Touhou Mother or something like that. And I haven't played that one yet, but I've heard that one's even better than the original. So.
Yeah, the bit I saw you play of, I think, was it Mother? Or was it the one? What was the box pushing? What was that?
That was Touhou Alive. That was Touhou Alive. That was the space chapter of Touhou Alive. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, Noah and somebody in our Discord were spending a lot of time trying to do this block pushing puzzle. I was like, man, this block puzzle's got hands.
It was rough. It was a rough block, but like shoutouts to the dev of that like block pushing puzzle because he really knew how to make a frustrating puzzle. I ended up just looking up a guide for like the last 2 puzzles because like I was just stumped. Like rough. But
before we get into kind of my little bits and bobs here, if you had a Touhou game to recommend people, which one do you think would? I mean, they're all kind of different in some ways. It depends on what you're looking for, but do you have a favorite?
Yeah. If you're just like looking for the Touhou property, right? Like you don't care who made it, you don't care if it's like an official, sort of Touhou game. I would say play either Touhou Luna Nights or play Touhou Dystopian. Those are both great Touhou fan games. But if you're wanting to get into the mainline series, just I'd say either start with Embodiment of the Scarlet Devils, which is Touhou 6, or start with that's the first one on Windows. When they moved from PC 98 to Windows, they started with Touhou 6. And then the other good starting point is Mountain of Faith, Touhou 10. That's sort of the first game in the modern era. And that game is actually really, really beginner friendly because you get unlimited continues in that one. So you can just keep like going at a level and learn it. So Mountain of Faith and Embodiment of the Scarlet Devil are the ones I'd recommend for the mainline series, and then the Touhou Dystopian, which is a roguelike action game, 3D action game, and then Touhou Luna Nights, which is a Metroidvania that I talk about all the time on the show. So
yeah, I have Touhou Luna Nights. I've been meaning to get to that because you've highly recommended it. So yeah, from what I saw, I was playing. I think I was playing Cronus at the time last year. I was watching you play Dystopian, and it's a little simple looking, but like I actually kind of like the vibe of it. It's very near coded. And I've been getting into these roguelite games a lot in the last couple years, and it looks like something that would be really fun to play.
Yeah, it's a great one of those like sort of pick 3. Like you've got sort of like that almost that near sort of combat. So you have like a sort of pod type thing that can shoot bullets. Those can break enemy bullets as well. And then you've got your sort of melee attacks as well that you can use to attack or to break bullets or things like that. So yeah, that thing's great. I love that thing, and I wish Homura Hime was that thing, and it's just not. So
yeah, I keep seeing that on the Steam front page. I think it's because you play it, so I'm like, it's recommending it to me.
Yeah.
So I see it. I'm like, Oh yeah, Noah mentioned this a couple times.
Yep.
It does look nice though. That
It
Homer
looks really
He-Man.
nice in it. It's a nice game. It's just not what I was looking for. I think I for that type of gameplay I need that roguelike experience. I think it just doesn't work if it's not a roguelike basically. Homer Hime is a mission based game instead of a roguelike, so it's got a little
Gotcha.
bit too much platforming for that sort of thing for me at least.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I keep seeing that every once in a while. So I'm like, every time I see it, I think of you for sure. Um, but yeah, I've been kind of just bouncing around, like I mentioned. Not, I've been trying to look for my next big thing. Like after I finished Resident Evil Requiem, which I loved so much. I've been looking for my next thing. Well, honestly, the last two games I played, that and Karen have been just so fulfilling. Like I did almost everything you could do in those games. And I'm looking for another game that I can really sink my teeth into. And I think I might have found it. But I'll kind of get to that in a second. The new game I've been playing besides Marathon, I've been watching a little bit more Marathon than I've been playing of it, so I don't think I can like update any thoughts gameplay wise. But I really like that game a lot. Drake and I have been playing here and there, and we plan to play some tomorrow, hopefully. And I think the style is just on point. It's got a very feverish, um, like hardcore crowd that really likes the game, and I think I would count myself in that. Um, it's a very strong community for what it is, and it's the first like you know extraction shooter to really grab me in every way. Um, at first, it seems shallow, that extraction feature, but once you focus on the mission based tasks for each like agency or group or whatever, it like makes it a lot more palatable because you go like, oh, I got to do this, but can I get out? Like the extraction stuff is like not even a concern for a bit. Like it's just kind of like staying alive is like the hardest part because that game
Right.
is just it's brutal.
I
There are some murderers around.
Yeah,
So
I don't think I've ever seen like any individuals who weren't player killers in that. I think everyone's just a player killer in
yeah,
that. I don't think
it's
there's
it's not our creators. It's
yeah.
not our creators at all.
Yeah.
Mhm. And honestly, I kind of like that. It takes the guesswork out of it. Like I encountered exactly one player that was benevolent, if
Yeah.
not neutral.
Yeah.
And we looked at each other, stopped. I think we were scared of each other, and he ran away. And I didn't shoot him because I was just like, because I was pretty new to it. I'm like, is
Yep.
this an arc raiding situation? Do I need to talk to this person? No, people pull out their guns and they murder you.
Mm.
Like they do not care. Like they're going to get their stuff and get out.
Yep.
Um, there's been some really tense firefights. Like I think the thing that's the most interesting about Marathon is that it feels like a hero shooter with the extraction shooter trappings. Um, like that feels so different and novel. And not just that, you pair that with the world and the frankly stunning art design and Bungie's gameplay. Like it is just a really tight, cheap package, and it just keeps delivering for me every time I get to it. Like I had a lot of trepidation getting into it initially. I was like, I don't even know if I'm going to buy this game. I feel like for a lot of people, but the more people play that game, the more people love that game, and I'm starting to get to that point. And Drake's already there. He was not sure about getting that, and then he got it, and he's played more than me. So it really once it gets its hooks in you, it really grabs on, and I think it's really fun to play. So little marathon check in there. That's a really good time. I'm really enjoying that. It just I cannot stress enough. It has maybe the most singular art design I've seen in a while. It's so unique. Nothing else looks like that game. I
Yeah.
heard a really good term called they're calling Marathon cyber goth, and I just love that. It's so
Yeah.
act.
That's fair.
It's just such an apt term,
Yeah.
you know.
I almost want to play that thing just for the art style. I do like the art style of it, but it's
Yeah,
just not my
you
type of
dude, if
game.
you should, I think the shooting is so strong. The playing of it is so strong.
I
It gets
think
you
if I'm
past
not
any pain
thinking of
points.
it as arc raiders, I think I could play it. If I'm thinking like if I encounter a player, I shoot them. Then I think I could play
Yes,
that. Yeah.
you just dude.
Yeah.
Like I said, it takes the guesswork out. It
Yep.
takes the the grayness out of it. You are murdering people. That's the best part. And you have, and also a big thing is the melee is vital and works super well.
Yeah.
So you can go knife only like you would in old school Modern Warfare 2 if you wanted to. You pick the what is
Or an
it?
Overwatch.
Is it yeah, or an Overwatch. I think it's Vantage, maybe. I forget what her name is. Um, she's like really fast. She's got like a really long slide move, and she's got like this Mega Buster for a cannon arm, and that's who Drake plays. And they're really fast, and you can take a knife and just cut people. It's awesome. So, I personally like triage the most, which is the medic class, because health is really hard to come by in that game per round. So it is super helpful when you have a group just to have a healer. And their survivability is just really good. So, but most people are doing the assassin class, which is just cloak yourself. Um, and it's not as convincing when you're facing a player because you can definitely see it's just active camo. But it's really good for getting the jump on somebody because they're not actively looking for you like that. Like if you see it right in front of you, you're gonna see active camo and go like, okay, that's definitely a assassin player or whatever it is. Um, but once you do it, you're like, okay, yeah, I see why people do this. So, and there's a class called Thief. They can throw a drone up in the air and they can steal loot off of you actively. It's super sick. I think you might like that one actually. Yeah. That's a really interesting one.
I was messing.
You could like literally pull the gun. You could pull the gun from the players. So
that's fun. I was messing around with the class that can see and throw drones. Like they can see if they've been pinged by players, and then they can throw drones at players. That sort of scouting class, that was kind of fun.
Is it Recon maybe? It might have been Recon.
Yeah, Recon maybe. But
I recommend you get it because the price point's really low. Like $40 is just I feel like they should have charged more. Like I want to support this game because they're doing really good work over there. And like I said, the trepidation was high for me because it's been a long time since they made any game that was not named Destiny, and this is a return to a very old IP that was not ever in this this form. Like those were single player boomer shooters, so it's Marathon is fascinating. It is a fascinating game. It seems to be successful, and I'm really happy about that because Bungie is really good at what they do. So this is my recommendation. Just check it out. That's an awesome game. Yeah, I hope you get it, Noah. That'd be great. We could do a 3-stack. That'd be good. They do have a duos mode that's being worked on. I think they're just trying to figure out balance stuff. But that's really interesting. It's not just 1 and 3. They have a duo now. So, it's easier to get 2 people than 3 to play a game. Like that's just the truth. So, but yeah, that's a little bit more about Marathon. I don't have a ton to update about Pokopia, but I have played a lot more of it. When I mentioned it last time we recorded, I literally put like, what was it, an hour and a half? I am now 10 hours into that game. It still is really good. It's I have slight criticisms about it, but nothing that is, like it's not all glowing praise or anything. I honestly, I think it's a really solid game. I think it would be beneficial if I had people to play it with. And I do have some people. It's just one of those things about timing schedules and stuff. Yeah. But I feel like it borrows so much from Animal Crossing. Sometimes it doesn't carve out its own identity enough. And it's a little too much Dragon Quest builders as well. So like the thing that's the difference is the Pokemon.
Right.
But it's a lot of those games that it's cribbing off of. And what it is just reminding me of those games. And it makes me want to play those games. Like playing Pokopia is fun. I'm actively having a good time doing it. But that issue, maybe there's a way to do this. I don't know. Getting rid of stuff and throwing it away. I don't quite know how to do that, and I haven't honestly looked it up. But like, I have a bunch of chests that is just full with garbage of like leaves and trash I picked up that I just have no place for. And I'm like, maybe I just need to find a place to like throw all this stuff away. I don't know. Maybe I'll have a Pokopia landfill. Who knows? Which is a funny concept.
That's where your freaking troubadour can live.
There you go. Yeah. Get my Trubbish in there and hang out.
Garbodor, that's what it's. Garbodor, yeah. Trubbish.
Yeah, Garbodor, Trubbish, whatever. Yeah.
Those guys.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. but it's been a really good time. It's been a fun time. But like I said, it's pretty referential to the stuff it's inspired by. And again, not bad things. It's just the truth. But I just can't help think about it.
I'm
I don't
actually
know how long it is. So I mean, I'm trying to figure out like the pace of it. Like it feels like you're doing all these quests in the zone. You're getting up to this apex point where you're building a thing, and then you move to the next location. I don't know how much of that there is.
yeah.
So yeah. Sorry, I cut you off. What was
Oh
that?
no, you're fine. I was just gonna say I actually kind of like the. It's gonna go on a tangent. I kind of like the Pokemon that are just like based off of, like a real world object, like the Trubbish and
Yeah,
the Vanillite and the
Vanilla. Yeah, that's a good one.
I like Klefki quite a bit. Klefki's pretty good.
I
Um,
do like Klefki.
yep,
Yeah.
yep.
hmm I like cast form. Is it cast form? I forget what it's called.
Cast form's okay. Yeah, it's like
I like it
the one
because
that
it
changes
flips.
weather. Yeah,
I like
yeah.
that. That's cool. It's like a weather vane or
Its
something.
base form looks like it has like a big butt though. Like it's got like some cheeks on it.
Well, okay, I haven't seen one. There's like a little charm you hang up to summon more Pokemon to your area.
Oh,
Like I
okay.
think you get like a Sliggoo to show up or whatever or
Oh,
something like that. With a cast form. Like okay,
I
so the
love
thing about it
Sliggoo.
is you're trying to attract Pokemon to your area by building habitats for them. So for instance, you're like you're a Ditto and they're trying to be a child. I don't know why they're trying to fool Pokemon by being child. They all know it's Ditto.
Yeah.
Whatever. That's neither here nor there. But there's a lot of freakish like things that Ditto learns. Like you talk to Squirtle and he shows you how to do water gun. You spit water out of your mouth, or Bulbasaur teaches you. I think it's Vine Whip, and you pull shrubs out of the ground to build these habitats. And it's just body horror. It's just a child growing vines out of their arms, going yoink,
Yeah.
And it's a lot of fun like visual stuff, and the writing's very fun and quippy. Like it's a very Animal Crossing thing where like all these characters have like a behavior. So like there's the jock type, there's the blah blah blah. But it seems like all these Pokemon have different bespoke behaviors depending on who they are. Like for instance, Scyther is basically like a gym jock. He's like, "What's up, bro? I cut all this lumber for you, bro. Go build this house now, dude. It's gonna be chill, Shaw, dude." And I'm like, "Yeah, dude. All right, you're sick. I love you." And then there's
The
like, yeah, go ahead.
I know like Kyogre's like a country old man. I've seen him. He's pretty great.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
like, you
Kyogre shows up. Yeah, Kyogre shows up. He's like, "What's all that racket up there?
yeah.
You want me to make it? You want me to make it rain? Okay, I guess I can." Um, yeah, there's a lot of good bits like that. Like Lugia will drop feathers that you can use as like currency and stuff. There's a lot of like really good flavor, and I can see why this is so popular because it is so undemanding. There's not a lot of time gated things like that. There are like daily things like, hey, you can only get these sort of recipes on this day or whatever. But they cycle, so you're going to get all of them at some point, and it's very easy. You don't have to like keep up with like the turnips or anything like. There's nothing like that. It's less demanding than Animal Crossing is because there's not as many timers going. And Animal Crossing can be relaxing, but I always feel like I have a task to do per day, and then I do it, and then I set it down because then you kind of run out of stuff to do, you know. And
I
Pocopia's not like that. You kind of always have something to do. So
Yeah, I have issues with the new like Switch Animal Crossing definitely. They go a bit too far into like the sort of like survival crafting stuff. It's kind of annoying. Um,
I agree.
but like
Yeah.
the older ones, I thought weren't that bad on the time management. I don't see them being that bad, but certainly New Horizons has its issues with that. Yeah, that kind of I played a lot of New Horizons, but I don't think I really like that game that much.
I played 120 hours of the game, something insane,
Yeah.
like a lot of that game.
Yep.
I was very. It was the pandemic game. Everybody played that game in the pandemic,
Yep.
um, and it was really good for that. Like it was a great way to when everyone was locked down, just hang out with each other. That was a good time.
Yep.
But the time stuff was really annoying when you wanted to get stuff done. So like you were always contending with like, am I going to break the seal? Am I going to time travel just to get stuff done?
Yeah.
Like I used to work with someone that's like, yeah, I just started time traveling. I'm tired of waiting for stuff. I'm at home all day. I don't want to wait for this game to get played. I'm like, yeah, that's fair.
No,
but yeah, I have
that
issues with
game
that game.
had a lot of stuff time gated. Like the entire like tutorial for that game was time gated. Like you couldn't even get out of the tutorial of that thing without like waiting a certain amount of days for things to like
It was like
unlock.
it was like almost a week or something. Like I
Yeah, it's
remember it
something
taking a long time.
stupid. Whereas like if you go back to like the GameCube one, right? Like there was no time gate for getting out of the tutorial. Like you just worked for Tom Nook and then
Yep.
you were out of the tutorial. Like then like there was time waiting for like, you know, for your trees to grow and for, you know, your house to be remodeled, you know, but those were all just like, you know, one day things or so, you know.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They weren't
Yeah.
like these
Yeah. There's
like
a lot of time gating. I agree. A lot of time gating
yeah,
in that
they
game.
like the New Horizons game. It's like they think they're Clash of Clans or something. Like it gets ridiculous with how much like time gating there is.
Yeah, and I think honestly for me, I mean, I know we're on an Animal Crossing tangent, but we're talking about Pokopia. It's
Yeah,
kind of the same thing in some ways. My biggest criticism with that game is that the interactivity with the items has lessened compared to other ones. Like you would get stuff that you could do stuff with in the other Animal Crossing games. Like you
yeah,
could interact with them. But all the stuff you put around your town, your house, whatever, like it might have like a base function of like, oh, I click it and then like water comes out of this or whatever. But like a lot of the time they're just to look at. You know what I mean?
yep,
Um, just I need a little bit more out of that stuff. So um, it's going to be interesting. I don't. They're probably going to put out another one of these in the next couple years, I imagine. Um, but then Tamagotchi Life comes out, and they're kind of doing that too. So it's going to be interesting to see how what the differences between the two will be. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
it's a weird one. It's a weird one. I don't know. I like Animal Crossing at its base level, but this last one did have its share of issues. I agree with you. So for sure. But yeah, that's pretty much all Pokopia. 10 hours in, I just play it when I feel like it. I'm not in a rush to finish it. It's gonna be something that I just play here and there. So I'm liking it a lot.
yeah.
I recommend it. So a little bit more Switch playing. The game I actually really got into in the last couple of days is I went back to Cuphead of all things, which is random. It's random. So, have you played Cuphead out of curiosity or no?
I don't really have desire to play that game.
Really? It's good. I like that game.
It's never.
Have you played Gunstar? Have you played Gunstar Heroes?
No.
It's basically just rubber
I played
hose.
the one a little bit on like the Game Boy Advance, whatever the Gunstar Heroes was on the Game Boy Advance, but
Yes. Oh my gosh,
about it.
I remember that game. What is it called? It's not just called
No
Gunstar
idea.
Heroes Advance.
No,
There's a
it's
name.
not.
Anyway, whatever. It's basically that well, Gunstar Heroes is a scrolling game, and then you have boss fights at every level. This is basically just a boss rush, and they have levels in between. Um, like on this like open world, well, Mario 3, Mario World sort of overworld map. That's kind of the structure of Cuphead. Um, but I've been really digging it again. So the goal is you're tasked by the devil to get these soul contracts because you are indebted to him for one reason or another. Um, and you are basically, you know, you're getting all these bosses killed and taking their soul contracts and you're giving them to the devil. That's the whole point of the game. You're these little cup and mug men, mug boys. I don't know. There's Cuphead and Mugman. And they're doing the devil's business. We'll put it that way. It turns out the devil's business pretty fun. I'm having a good time playing this game again. So the structure of the boss fights specifically are, well, I guess we start with the presentation. That's kind of what this game is presentation. It's all hand drawn, hand painted, everything. Like it is a cartoon, like straight up a cartoon. Very original of iWorks or Disney animation stuff, like Gulliver's Travels, if you've ever seen that or whatever. All those old 30s cartoons, like that is what this game looks like. Um, and it's so pretty to look at still. Like this game came out almost 10 years ago, and it's going to have a timeless quality to it. Um, and it looks great. It just feels really good to play. It's difficult enough to like keep you coming back, but it's not going to push you over. Because basically, the bosses have multiple phases, just like most bosses do. Like mostly they have three phases, like the rule of three, the golden rule of three in video games. Like, hey, I'm this phase, and this phase. And you have different shots you can use, different supers you can use. You have a dash, you have a parry ability too, which is really fun. Um, but like as you progress, fighting these bosses, and if you eventually die, you'll see like this track of Cuphead running along it with all these checkpoints, and it'll show like, hey, you got past phase 1 and 2, but you got just short of beating them on phase 3. And it's really cool to see your progress every time. And usually every boss battle is like 2 minutes, maybe. Like it's not that much, but it can get pretty hectic when you do it, at least in the beginning. So what I decided to do is, when you fight these bosses, you do these rounds, and you do it perfectly, correctly, not getting hit, whatever. You get graded on it, like a letter grade. Um, it's not S ranks, but it's A plus ranks, and I've been trying to do all of the ranks, which is parry everything. Like there's a little pink pellets you got to parry. You like depress jump twice and you smack it. You got to hit every parry. You can't lose a stock life pip. You got to use like your supers and all that, and you got to do it within this a lot of time, or don't die basically. And you get like an A plus rank. And I did that for the entire first like world, which is like 5 or 6 bosses like today, and it was really rewarding. I'm like, man, if I can just like chip away at this doing this, and it's gonna get really hard. I know that because I played a lot of that game. Um, it's just really satisfying to learn these fights and go like, oh, I remember this and this and this. Like, oh man, I just had him this time. I just barely missed it because I messed up. Really satisfying. It feels very akin in a very bite-sized way to like a Sekiro fight or something. Like you're seeing the enemy's tells, you're responding to them, you're parrying as needed. It's not as serious like that. You know what I mean? And those fights aren't as long. They're just not as long. Um, but I'm really enjoying Cuphead. I played this game off and on for years. I've never beaten it. I've gotten stuck at most parts in the third island, and they have DLC put out for it too. That's kind of why I wanted to come back. They put it out a few years ago, um, but it gets really, really brutally hard, where it becomes almost a bullet hell, like just to play. Um, and which you might like that stuff. You like bullet hell a lot, so um, it's it's really novel to look at and very fun to play, but it is. I feel like I'm going to hit a wall with it again and go like, damn, this is just. I remember how hard this was. So, uh, but yeah, that's kind of a. I don't know, me getting back into Cuphead of all things, which is really wild. I don't think these people have made another video game since Cuphead. The studio MDHR. I don't think they have.
Yeah,
Or if they
I
have,
mean,
I haven't heard
Cuphead
of it.
took like a
So
lot of years, didn't it? Like that was a really
it
long
did.
development cycle. So if they are working on something, it's gonna have a long development cycle again, I'm sure.
Well, I don't think they're going to make a Cuphead 2, but maybe
Uh,
they are because it was very financially successful for them, but
True.
who knows? It was initially seen in an Xbox like indie event, and everyone went like, "Holy crap, what is that game?"
Yeah.
Um, and people were like busting down their door, going like, "When the hell is this coming out?" And from reveal to release, it was like 4 or 5 years or something, because there's just a lot of art they got to make, and they got to animate it and tie it to gameplay, and it's a lot of stuff they got to do. So, but yeah, I'm enjoying it a fair bit. I would love to see what else they would make. That's crazy. I mean, the DLC is basically Cuphead 2. So
Yeah.
like they were probably spending a lot of time doing that.
Yeah.
I imagine.
Yeah.
So because that DLC came out years after the fact.
Well, yeah,
So
and they do
um,
like a lot of like hand drawn animation with that thing, so I'm sure that takes a lot of time to make those
oh
things.
yeah, it really does. I saw like a making of like
Yeah.
I think it was a mainly a brother, two brothers team, and they had assistants for sure.
Yeah.
Like one of the brothers' wives were like drawing and painting in that game,
Yeah.
which is really crazy. So a lot of it seems like a family operation, and they may honestly they probably made enough money they don't ever have to do anything ever again. So maybe they're just taking their time. I don't know. But Studio MDHR, they if it's the only game they make, it's a hell of a game. So Yeah, I really like it. And then a little mention about Pentiment. I'm just playing that off and on. I feel like I mention it like every week, and I feel like I haven't made as much progress. But maybe I'll just stop talking about it until I play more about it. But that's still pretty good. But that's mostly been my Switch playing the last couple weeks. We'll put it that way. So,
Nice.
but yeah, you got all your JRPG stuff done. You've been kind of like picking away here and there. You've been playing your like comfort games after this,
Yep.
right? Or well, at
Well,
least one
kind
comfort
of.
game, and then getting back into some stuff, right?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So I played more Project Diva. I gotta do some work on that thing though. I accidentally broke my mod list, so I gotta figure out what's going on with my mod list. I've got
Oof.
some crashes, just like while browsing menus, it'll crash sometimes. So I gotta figure out what's going on with that. But it's a very delicate game, and when you have almost 200 mods installed, it doesn't really like that. So,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
yeah. So, and then yeah, I started playing Fantasy Star Online with a couple people, Drake and Slade, and we played it a couple times. I definitely want to play more of that. It's episode 1 and 2. We're actually playing the Blue Burst version, so it's actually episode 1, 2, and 4.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's we're playing the Japanese only Blue Burst version, but there's a lot of like fan servers now of that sort of version of it, like in the US. And so we're just playing on one of those fan servers basically, and they kind of just package the entire game for you, and so there's like it's super easy to get into. So you really just need like a
Yeah.
PC of any sort because it's an old game, and it just runs, and yeah, it's fun. It's I've played it before on GameCube, but it's interesting playing it on PC, because you can control you control the whole thing. You can use a controller, but I've just been using a keyboard to control the whole thing. And so you do like your camera and everything with the keyboard, and actually controls pretty well, I think, with keyboard compared
Mhm.
to controller. I think I like playing it on the keyboard better than the controller. Because then you have like your number keys for your sort of action bar, so you can have a lot of different actions mapped at once instead of having to just like scroll through different quick menus with the controller. So,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
but yeah, I'm
Okay.
having fun with that. I'm playing as a so the your your race, your gender, and your class all contribute to your stats in that game. So like I'm playing as a um, female cast ranger, and because of that, I'm apparently, according to a lot of guides I found online, playing the worst class in the game, like the worst
Oh,
combination
nice.
of race, gender, and class in the game. So,
Mm-hmm.
because my the stat growth for this sort of build is the highest defense value you can possibly get on a ranger. And the thing with rangers are they're a ranged class. So I'm a ranged tank.
Oh boy,
Yep.
that
So
doesn't make sense, right? When I hear that.
no, it shouldn't make sense because it doesn't make sense, but it's kind of funny, so I kind of like it. The upside
Yeah.
is I don't die, cause like when everyone else is dying, I just don't die because I'm a tank and I'm in the back. So like I can just res everyone else with items. So I don't
You're
know.
just gonna
Maybe
be
it's
extra
secretly
sure.
good.
Yeah.
Maybe it's secretly good. I don't know.
You
It's
found the
not.
best class in the game. Fun fact.
It's not good for sweating your balls off and doing like speed runs and whatever through the missions. But just playing casually, I think it's fine.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
do very bad damage, so I gotta figure out how to get my damage up at like not contributing at all in terms of damage. So, but it's been pretty fun though. Yep, we've got a another female cast hunter, and then we've got a a Newman female force. Um, so yeah, we've got a pretty balanced team, all things considered. And yeah, I think I've been having fun with it. I think they've been having fun with it. We just haven't gotten together to play it at all recently. But
Yeah.
I really like.
Well,
the
you have
vibe of
been
that
playing.
game.
You have been playing an MMO, just not as much of that one, but yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I really like the vibe of Phantasy Star Online. I think it might be one of my. I think it might be my all-time like favorite in terms of like MMOs. I really like that game. It's just got an incredible soundtrack. It's got like just incredible like atmosphere to it, and it's just fun. It's like such a quick like pick up and play one too. Like you can just go in, you can do a mission, and then that takes like maybe an hour. So like it's not like wasting your time. So
yeah, I'll you sent me a link to this. I will put it on my stuff. We'll play that. We'll play
okay,
it.
yeah, I can try and get you caught up with like the rest of the group in terms of like mission progress. If you
Okay.
wanted to play
Yeah,
with the
I'm
group,
down.
so
Yeah, I like the idea of PSO. It's cool.
yeah.
I listened I listen to a lot of Jeff Gerstmann. He loves PSO, original PSO, not PSO 2. And he
Yep.
talks about playing the early days of that game, and
It had to have
yeah,
been
that
incredible to
was
play that
made by
thing in the early
yeah, when it
days.
came out, right?
Yeah.
hmm that was made by Sonic Team, right?
Yes. Yep. A Sonic Team. Yep.
Sonic Team, yeah.
Yep. Made for the
How about that?
Dreamcast. Yep.
The Dreamcast. Oh, the Dreamcast. Most of your games were ported to Xbox, but
Well,
the
the
Dreamcast was
Xbox
good.
is just like Dreamcast too, so that makes sense. There's a lot of good
Basically, yeah.
games for the Xbox. Like today, I was like seeing like a video. Like there's a lot of good like Japanese like type
hmm
games for the Xbox. Like they
hmm
really had a like a push for like Japanese
It was
devs
a lot
to
of
get on the Xbox.
Tecmo,
Yeah.
a lot of
Yep.
Koei.
Yep.
Yeah. hmm Yeah.
Microsoft really put
Yep.
a lot of
Yeah.
money into the Xbox, the original Xbox, to get those exclusives. Because I saw the number; it was somewhere in like the 200s. It was yeah, some really high number, like 250 or something like that, exclusives for the original Xbox.
Yeah. You should play Phantom Dust. Have you heard of Phantom Dust? That game is
No,
so
no,
sick, dude.
sounds cool.
It's so sick. One of my
I
favorite
don't I
original
don't have
Xbox
an
games.
original Xbox, so
Well, you don't need to. It's backwards compatible on like a series console, and
oh,
it might be
okay.
on PC. I don't know, but
I don't
it's
have a
definitely on series.
series console, but I have an Xbox One and I have an Xbox 360. So
You can play Phantom Dust on regular Xbox. Yep, or Xbox One. That was
on
an
Xbox
Xbox
One.
One game.
Okay, cool.
Mhm. Yep, that game is really cool. I recommend it. So
Nice. Yeah. But anyways, yeah. So that's Phantasy Star Online. It's cool. It's a really neat experience, and yeah, it's funny because like a lot of the things I've seen describing like original Monster Hunter compare that game to Phantasy Star Online, um, because that was kind of like those two were very much alike in terms of like that whole party based system of going on missions.
Mhm. Right.
So I just like that thing. I like that sort of like you have a small group of friends and you just go in and you do missions and you get gear and you continue on. Like I like that sort of small party based MMO style of gameplay.
Right.
Like the more stuff you can do with friends in those things, the better. And that's like the big issue I had with World is that it's really hard to play that game with friends with Monster Hunter World.
It is. Yeah.
But yeah. But anyways, yeah. And then I started up Final Fantasy 14 again after a lot of people I know have been playing that. So I'm like, okay, I'll finally
Yeah.
get back into it. It's been 2 years, and so now I'm kind of flying through that main scenario. I got through post Stormblood, and now I'm on Shadowbringers. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's been good.
What? So
It's really good.
what has been? They have like it's free up until a certain expansion, right?
So there's a way if you play it through their sort of client, right? If you don't go through like Steam or anything like that, if you play it through their client, you can play for free up through Stormblood. So Stormblood, all of Stormblood, like everything that I've basically done in the game up to Shadowbringers, I could have done for free. Like
Wow.
I basically chose not to do it for free because I played through Steam, but I could have done all that for free. But now I'm finally on Shadowbringers, so that's like the first like expansion you have to pay for, basically.
Gotcha. People love Shadowbringers. I know
Yeah.
that. So
Yep. I'm enjoying it. It's really good. Really, really good. So
mhm.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All this stuff before it was doing good, but
that's when I heard that game was like going through the stratosphere was when Shadowbringers came out.
Yep.
So
Yep.
yeah. And people like parts of the base game. It's not amazing. It was better than the original 14.
Yeah, Realm Reborn is okay. Heaven's Ward has some really good moments in it. And it's just got some like, growing pains in Heaven's Ward. They're still figuring things out. Stormblood is kind of the same deal. It's got some growing pains, but it's got some really good moments in there as well. One of my favorite locations, like in gaming period, I would say, is in Stormblood. It's the Elysium steppe. It's basically this Mongolian steppe sort of based culture, and I adore that stuff. I love pathologic for that stuff, among other things. And so they've got the Ara Zala tribes. They live in this Elysium steppe, and I liked like the idea of like these like sort of like nomadic tribes living on the steppe a lot. Like they have a lot of like flavor and backstory in like all these different sort of tribes, and I thought it was so cool that I ended up like I started as like a Lalafell, and then I fantasiaed into an Auroch because I thought that was Zala Auroch. I thought that was so cool.
When I played, I was an Aura as well. I like the Aura.
Yeah. Were you? Do you remember if you were Rayan or Zala? The white scales versus the black scales.
I was the black scale.
You were Zala. Yep. Yeah, that's cool.
Yep.
The Rayan are cool too, but I think the Zala have a bit of more interesting flavor behind them. So,
I agree. I agree with you.
But
yeah, that game is the game seems really good.
Yeah, it's really good. The issue I have with that over like a Monster Hunter or a Phantasy Star Online in terms of playing with friends is that a lot of that game is single player. Like the majority of that game for an MMO, the majority of that game is straight up single player. Like you have like there's so many pieces of that game that are single player. Like there are multiplayer dungeons, there are multiplayer raids, there's these big alliance raids with like 24 people. You've got your, light party raids, or not raids, but you got your like light party dungeons, and then you got your, full party 8-player raids and dungeons. So there's a good variety of content for multiplayer, but the majority of the content in that game is single player. Like the main scenario, majority of the time you can only play that single player with the occasional dungeon or boss fight, which they call a trial, that you can then group up with other players to play. So I struggle to call that thing a game with friends. I think that thing is more you play it with friends sometimes, but you're kind of just all experiencing that story, that single player story together, but separate, if that makes sense.
Gotcha. So, I mean, that's music to my ears because I love single player stuff. So
it's basically a single player Final Fantasy game, like straight up. That's just what that thing is. So
it's like single player Final Fantasy game with multiplayer components.
Yep, exactly. And I think that the game's like, I think that thing would have a better identity if it stuck to one thing or the other, right? Like either make it a single player game or make it a game where, because I'm an MMO, I let you play with your friends and all the content, right? I don't like when games like try and mix and match that sort of identity of like, oh yeah, we're a multiplayer game, but you have to do all this content solo, you know? That's an issue I kind of have with Phantasy Star Online, is that there's a lot of side missions in that game, and you can only do the side missions solo. You can't do those multiplayer. The multiplayer is for like the story missions or for like some like event missions or things like that. But side story sort of missions, side quest missions are single player only.
Wild.
So
that's crazy. Yeah, I like that though. That's cool to have. It's cool that is very out of step with what an MMO is.
Just it like, is very out of step. Yeah, that thing is very different. Yeah, Final Fantasy 14 is a very different MMO compared to like a World of Warcraft. Yep, absolutely.
Yeah,
but yeah, it's good. It's a good game. It's a great story game. So it's a very long story game, very very long. But I'd say it's worth playing through. So.
Yeah, I hope to one day, very very soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's been good to hear about and watch you play. I've been kind of like whetting my appetite by just watching you guys play every once in a while.
Yeah, it's a cool game.
Yeah, this looks cool. That has a near rated, doesn't it?
It does. Yeah, it's actually inside of the Shadowbringers expansion, so I'll probably run into that eventually. I won't do it right away because Slade wants me to wait for him. So, but
no, I'm sure.
I will be at that rate soon. But yeah, no, I've been having fun with it. I started out as a healer. I've kind of played almost all the healer classes, but recently I've actually switched over to playing as a DPS. I've been trying the new Viper class that they brought in with Dawn Trail, the Dawn Trail expansion. Sort of like a dual blades class, and it's been a lot of fun. Very combo heavy, and you sort of have your dual blades and you do your combos with them, and then you go into another phase where you merge the dual blades into a twin blade, and you sort of are swinging around this twin blade, so it's pretty cool.
That is cool. Yeah. People are pretty mixed on Dawn Trail as well.
For expansions. Story aspects of it. Yeah, I think that people are mixed on that, but you know, the other aspects of it, you know, I'm sure people are fine with. So.
Yeah. Well, that's Noah's back into another semi JRPG hole. We'll put it that way.
Really, it's not really a JRPG. It's different. It's very different. It's just more active.
Single player MMO in some ways.
Yeah. It's more active than JRPG at the very least. So it's got numbers, but like that's the extent of what, like, I guess, yeah. It's a story game. I don't know.
Yeah. Speaking of story games, I actually picked up a new one, a new game. It is it's a small game from a small team. It's weird. So the game in question is called Esoteric Ebb. Playing this on Steam. This is from Christopher Bodegard, which makes it sound like it's a one dude who made it. It seems like he made a lot of it, but there's a team behind this game, and it was published by Raw Fury. So the idea of it is you play as this cleric. It's very, very Disco Elysium styled and inspired by, like extremely, in almost every way, but with like D&D trappings instead of the tempers that Disco Elysium has for like emotions. So basically, like it'll have, hey, you have strength, you have dexterity, you have wisdom, that sort of thing, and you spec into those. And it's very D&D cut and dry like that, except with its own world. It's D&D rule based and set like that, like what you can do. There's a flexibility in the mechanics that allow you to do D&D things, but it is its own world with very understood races. Like there's orcs, there's elves, there's goblins, whatever. Like it is very D&D coded sort of thing. The thing that's that makes it interesting and not generic is the writing is just off the wall and eccentric and just really weird. Um, and very very funny. I've laughed multiple times playing this game, and it's hard for games to make me laugh. It's hard for games to be funny, and this game consistently pulls it off. It's very very good. Um, but you're constantly making decisions. You're constantly talking to NPCs. You have your regular D&D things like, oh, I have magic, I have dancing lights, I have charm person, whatever. Like you can mess around in a lot of fun ways with like stuff in the world. So the setup is that you are supposed to investigate this tea shop that blew up basically in the middle of the town square during this election season for the place that you're uh, investigating in Norvik, and you're talking to all these people trying to suss out what's going on, and there's a lot of like funny, interesting dialogue. So you'll basically get into these speech checks that will allow you to do funny things depending on like it's like a D&D session, where you like will do a thing and you'll roll for it and you'll have like this is the minimum you have to clear to be able to do this, and funny stuff will happen, like a lot of funny stuff will happen. So um first of all, the most interesting thing this game does when you pause it and start again is it has session notes on the main menu. This is like last time you did whatever, this is what you were doing. And I'm like, that is super cool. More games need to have like a hey, last time on.
Freaking Pokemon Fire Red and Leaf Green have that. They have like a
They
last
do.
time.
That's right.
Yeah. That was like the only one of those games they did that with. It was kind of
I know. Yeah.
yeah, it's kind of weird.
I honestly totally forgot about that until
Yeah.
I booted it up
Yep.
in the last month or so. But anyway, yeah, the session notes are really useful shorthand for going like, oh right, I remember what I was doing. Um, but like you'll do these speech checks and you'll do these funny bits of dialogue, and like so many things can happen. Like it feels like there's a million permutations, depending on how well you do in speech checks. So for instance, I you're this character named Cleric. He's got like a like a jerkin on and some chainmail and a night hat, whatever. And you can equip weapons to him, whatever. You could add stuff to his person like a D&D, inventory. And I found this bucket laying on the ground, and you can't put it all over his helmet, but you can swap the helmet for the bucket. So I'm like, okay, I'll do that. And now that I've swapped his helmet for a bucket, it comes up all the time. Turns out people see a bucket on your head, they're like, I can't take you seriously. Like, can you take that off? And there's a lot of funny bits of dialogue like, what bucket? What are you talking about?
What's the bucket?
And you can like lean into it. Yeah, you can lean into it. You have a goblin partner named Snell, and he's like, I cannot take you seriously. You have to take this off, or I will not be your companion. And I'm like, I don't know what bucket you're talking about. You have to like roll for it and stuff,
Yeah.
and it's really good.
There's no
Um,
bucket.
just like yeah, just like little bits like that. They're really funny. Um, you have like opportunities to flirt with people to like either gain information or like just find little bits of dialogue, and if you do really badly like during a roll, it can like hurt your health, like your hit points. Like if you say the wrong prompt, you like roll a natural one, you'll get like 3 damage to your like 9 health pool, and you're like, oh my god, that really hurt to the core. And your constitution is like, man, you got to eat something, brother. You can't keep doing this. um a lot of fun stuff. A lot of branching dialogue. It reminds me of Baldur's Gate in that way, Baldur's Gate 3, where there's just a lot going on under the hood. A lot of things that you can that they prepared for, to allow you to feel like it is your story. Let's say. Um, yeah, one of the funniest. There's a couple of funny things. So like, there's like this bar that you go into that's only open from certain times, and there's a lot of, it's probably my favorite part of the game so far, where you have the bartender lady who's really nice. I really like her. You have this like troubadour slash DJ or whatever playing the lute in the corner, and then you have a gyno sphinx on the other end of the room, which is basically a sphinx that speaks in riddles. And every time you see somebody interesting, you have extensive dialogue tree with them. And I got to talking to the the bartender, and she was really nice and sweet and everything. Even if I was saying some weird ass stuff to her, she was like, "Huh, you're interesting, but I kind of like you," which is good. The lady playing the lute, I kept interrupting her playing. Every time I would speak up, she would get increasingly more annoyed until she's like, "Sit the fuck down," and it was pretty good. It was pretty good. There's no dialogue or like speaking voice stuff, but like you read it and you're like, okay. And there's like little flavor text like the cleric backs away slowly, and I'm like, that's pretty good. When you talk to the Sphinx, you have to try figure out riddles to get into the room behind them, because you're doing this investigation of this town, right? And the Sphinx basically tells you about how long it's been there and the dating partners it had, and that they had such a bad relationship with another Sphinx that they see the male version of Sphinxes as completely, um what's the word, beneath them. They're like cattle basically, and there's a very very funny, basically she sees them as subpar to her because of a bad relationship she had with another Sphinx, and it's so funny. It's so funny. And then from there, like, there's like a well I found in this bar, and you look down it, and it's like, "Hey, do you want to jump down this well?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I do want to jump down this well." And they're like, "Are you sure? Do you really want to do this?" I'm like, "Yeah, I really want to do this." And you just fall to your death and die. But like the fact you can do that is so D&D. I love it. I love it. The stuff that you can do is so fun. Yeah, Esoteric Ab. It's been a hoot and a half. It's kind of all I've been playing today, honestly. I put about 4 hours into it so far. It seems 35 hours ish. There's a lot of content in here, and you're not meant to see everything your first time through, which I like. It's very Baldur's Gate 3 that way. It's very Disco that way, where you make hard choices, you have like political leanings, that sort of thing, and you kind of go from there.
You know what? Other really good game lets you jump into a well right in the beginning, right?
I do. I think I know what you're talking about.
Dark Souls 2, baby.
Okay, I knew it was a Dark Souls. You said well and jump, and I'm like, it's got to be a Dark Souls game.
Dark Souls 2.
So.
Yeah,
Dark Souls
they
2,
got that
baby.
big well in the middle of Majora, and you're supposed
Yeah.
to go and find like the ladder smith to make you a ladder to go down. But you can also just drop down if you have enough health, or if you like buy like the silver cat ring to like half fall damage, then you can just drop down into it. You'll take some damage, but um, it's kind of a fun sort of thing, I think. Being able to just bypass
Yeah.
that sort of like thing, that sort of restriction. Like they have like a logical way to get down there, but then they also just have like just jump down there. And I feel like a D&D game should have like I'm sure there is some way to go down the well, right, without like dying.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
I'm sure like there might be a point, because there's like an entire like undercity area,
yeah.
that seems where like a lot of important stuff's happening, and it seems like you can go down, there's different routes, and maybe you can find where the the well leads and not die.
Yeah.
That would be funny. Because basically I the place I woke up in, which was like a morgue, hooked up to another room that I didn't notice previously because it was blocked off by like this zombie NPC. I'm like, oh, okay, this game is like kind of intertwined like that. I like it. It's like Disco, where like it's a small place but with like a lot of dense characterization, and I like that. So, um, yeah, that's a really really fun game. I'm having a blast with it. Yeah, it's very very good. Um, and then besides that, just some backlog stuff. I'm playing the hottest new video game, Noah. I'm playing Grand Theft Auto 4 of all things. I don't know what's wrong with me.
Yeah,
Uh,
that game's probably fine. What was that game
it's
for?
pretty good.
360?
It was for
PS3?
360, PS3.
Yeah.
It's also on PC, but it was
Yeah.
originally for those.
Yeah.
Out of all the GTAs, I think you would like it the most.
Hmm.
Out of like this one would be the one for you. If I, had to
Yeah.
guess, because the main character is he's like, I think he's Russian, Nico. Um, and he's got this like, I don't know, he's got this like wandering man energy.
No.
Like, no, you're an interesting gentleman. You've lived many lives. Nico feels very similar to that. And I'm like,
That's
there's a
funny.
kindred spirit there. Yeah, there's a kindred spirit there.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I mean, it's not your scene. I understand that,
No.
but you know, But GTA 4. So I guess the reason I'm doing it is, first of all, I was like, like I said, I was bouncing around. Nothing was like captivating me just on my regular stuff. I was like, you know what? I get this 360 hooked up. It's hooked up. Like we can play it if we want. And like, there's a lot of stuff on there I haven't ever gotten to. And GTA 4, like I played a little bit of, but nothing, nothing like extensive. So I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna play this, just see if I like it. Because I've never really been into GTA like that. The one I played the most is 5, obviously, but even that I played 5 hours of and was like, "This game sucks. I don't like any of the characters. Playing it is very shallow, whatever." Um, 4 is not like that. 4 is not shallow really at all comparatively to 5. In fact, it feels like they took stuff out of, or, didn't add stuff to 5 that was in 4. Like, there's like a really robust physics system in 4 that 5 just doesn't have. Like when you hit like a speed bump or a curve or something, and you fly through a window, you are like ragdolling everywhere in a really like realistic, funny way. But 5 doesn't have this stuff, so it's like a weird. I don't know. It's a weird difference. Maybe it's an engine thing, but I digress. I think the characterization is really strong. Nico's great. There's a lot of your stock standard GTA yelling and swearing, which is juvenile and crappy. Like it's a lot of a dude enters a room with Nico and he goes like, "Hey, what are you doing?" And another character who is obviously volatile and crazy going, "You are a cocksucker. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you."
Yep.
It's a lot of that. It is a lot of that, but it feels very front loaded. Like as you play through the game, it starts to even out. Like that stuff is really abrasive to me, like super abrasive. 5 is like that because you have a character that is just all that in Trevor. In this, you play as one character, and he's more of like a not an everyman because he's like a military, like a ex-military guy, wandering soul type. Um, but like he's kind of just like a task rabbit. Like he's doing jobs for people. Like he walks into a situation, he's like, "Hey, do you got any work for me? I'm ready to drive your taxi cab or whatever." I'm like, "Yes, yes, you take the taxi cab. Go jet this car down the road. Whatever." Um, and it's a lot of that. You're a task rabbit for people, but like there's a lot of pathos to Nico specifically that I was not expecting. um like, okay, so Rockstar, I guess, before I continue, they have a penchant for just writing really solid characters if they are earnest about it. It's That's the operative term though, if they're earnest. Like there's a lot of facetiousness and a lot of like um what's the word, it's basically like they're trying to be really abrasive for a reason to show like, hey, we're adult or whatever, and it comes
Right.
off as really creepy, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
like, hey, this is rated M, loser, get it or quit it,
It
yeah,
it
exactly.
it's like it's made for like like the that whole like 2000s dude bro sort of boom. Um, that was kind of like
It's
the push in like the mid to like late 2000s was like oh, the dude
yeah,
bros are gaming now, so our games need to be for the dude bros. Um,
it's the thinking man's game for ball and gun gamers is what it is.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they're like, oh, this is so sophisticated. I'm not playing 2K. I'm playing GTA. Look at
Yeah.
me. Like
Yeah.
I'm playing an RPG. Look at me, mom. Like I find it embarrassing. Like the fact that they have to do that. And it's weird because the Red Dead Redemption games aren't like that. Like they are really earnest and they tell super good stories and their characters are believable and well rendered and the writing is strong in those. But like the Grand Theft Auto games are so surface level with their characterization a lot of the time, or cartoonish or outlandish in a way, and the way they deliver dialogue is just not palatable to me a lot of the time. 4 is has this stuff, but it feels like it reins it in, and I that's why I like it a lot more. And also it's that 2000s era, like right before 2010, where there's a lot of Kanye West songs. There's a lot of like old good Swizz Beat albums and stuff. Like there's a lot of like rap and stuff that I like that are that's on the radio. And I'm
Nice.
like, okay, yeah, I can listen to Flashing Lights by Kanye West. You know what I mean? I love
Yeah.
that song. And I'm getting a lot out of that, to put it that way. Um, and they have their radio stations, they have their dumb lampooning of American culture that is completely outlandish and ridiculous. Like the flavor of all their stuff that GTA 5 has is here, it's just reined back and not as annoying to me. Maybe that's what it is. And yeah, the driving's weird. Like the driving is you're driving a lot in that game, and all the cars drive like boats. It's super odd. But I kind of have learned to like it in comparison. I'm interested to see how because I plan to play some aspect of these before 6 comes out. I'm not going to promise I'll play all of them because I don't know if I will. But I want to kind of compare and contrast because they say 6 is coming out this year, and I want to have somewhat of a base knowledge to play that. Um, but yeah, it's GTA 4 has been really good. I've been enjoying it. It's probably the second thing I played the most this the last couple weeks. I put about 11, 12 hours into it, but um, the mission structure can be a little tedious sometimes. Like, hey, follow this car, don't get spotted. Very Assassin's Creed tailing mission like, which I is like the bane of my existence. But it doesn't get too bad. The checkpointing can be really annoying. Like you finish them, you're like just about to finish a mission, and then you like accidentally die in a really dumb way, and then you have to start over from the beginning with your phone to like click into the mission again. That stuff sucks, and it's a product of its time. But those issues are few and far between, I would say. But yeah, good characterization. Story's pretty good. It's a coming to America slash living the American dream story. Like, hey, pull yourself up by your bootstraps, young immigrant, and make a life for yourself. Maybe by doing crimes. That's what that's about. um, and yeah, I find it more captivating than the stuff I played in 5. So we'll see if I get through it. I don't know. It's one of those things I'm casually playing. So yeah, after Esoteric Ebb and that's what I've been playing the most of, I would say. So yeah. Yeah, you've been playing some more Steam stuff, looks like little bits and bobs here and there. Tell me about what's it what how do you is it Cirno lifts a boulder? Like
Yeah.
what is this game? What is this game?
Yeah. It's you basically are playing as Cirno from Touhou, and you're
Okay.
you load in and you get this cutscene where there's a boulder in front of your house, and so in order to remove this boulder from your house, you need to go around this sort of snowy landscape in sort of a 3D collectathon sort of deal, and collect
Okay.
power to make yourself more powerful, and then you collect enough of them, and you lift the boulder.
Very
Yep.
simple. I like it.
Yep. Took me about an hour. I didn't do everything in it. I just kind of did what I needed to do to lift the boulder, and then I was like, yeah, okay, that was enough of that. It was fine. It was fun. The snow like sort of graphics and sort of physics are pretty good in it. So
Okay.
so just kind of a nice looking game. So
Well, you do what it says on the tin. You did lift the boulder. I
yep,
mean, that's the point, right?
yep, that's the
That's
point.
fun.
Yep, pretty
I
quick
like that.
thing, but I saw it on like Steam front page. I'm like, yeah, I'll play this thing. And yeah, it was fine. So good little
Yeah.
hour long
Yeah.
thing.
Cyrano lifts a boulder. He did indeed. He did lift that boulder.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, and then the other thing I kind of played on Steam was another shorter game. It was actually this one was actually a free game, and it was dialogue.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's very Valhalla inspired, extremely. It's basically a android repairing puzzle game. I like to call it Honey Pop if Honey Pop was good, because that's basically what this thing is. So
Oh,
you
really?
yeah, so
Wow.
you're doing like a sort of like twist puzzle, sort of max 3 twist puzzle game. Um
Mm-hmm.
and whenever you max 3, they'll combine into like a higher tiered sort of component for the android. And you're just kind of twisting things around to make higher tiered components, and then once you get a component that's high tier enough, you slot it in wherever the game's telling you to slot it in, and that's how you kind of repair these sort of androids. And your character is using the D1AL diagnostic equipment, and that's why the name of his repair shop is Dialogue. But this is like a first generation sort of equipment he's using basically, and so because like lore wise, there's like a D5AL diagnostic equipment at this point, and he's still using like the first generation one, and so
Gotcha.
it's got all those like trappings of like, yeah, this is like a futuristic cyberpunk sort of setting, but all the characters are kind of like in this sort of like, yeah, this is cool, but we also kind of like our retro and vintage stuff, and so there's a lot of like the dialogue revolving around like, yeah, there's this vintage cafe nearby that likes vintage coffee feel and stuff like that. And so the dialogue just kind of revolves around like the characters before and after you repair these androids. You kind of talk to them, and then you do the little mini game, and the androids get a little hot and bothered because that's, I guess, like sexy thing for them getting repaired. So
oh, nice, very nice.
And so yeah, it's kind of a dating game, not a dating sim, because there's not really any sim aspects to it. It's a puzzle game.
Okay.
But you date the androids, and yeah, there's really just like one date that you do at the very end of the game. You get to like choose whichever android you want to go to like this basically cyberpunk Christmas festival. So
interesting.
Polar Light Night. And yeah, it's pretty cool. There's an interesting kind of twist that I like that I won't go into detail. It's 4 hours, so I'm not gonna spoil a 4-hour game. So if people are interested, go play it. I definitely recommend it. Like 4 hours, that's not a lot of your time. You could probably do it in 2 hours if you were really rushing. I was trying to do everything, so I was getting all the achievements and stuff like that. So, but yeah, I liked it. I liked it. So I like the aesthetic of it. The dialogue of it is not the greatest English ever. It's definitely a foreign made game. I don't know if it's Japanese or Korean or something else, but it's definitely foreign made. So some of that didn't translate that well to English, but they're actually working on a game called Dialogue Plus, and that'll be like a more expansive experience of this game. I don't know if they're just remaking this game or if they're making a new game. I'm not really sure what they're doing with that, but they just announced that. So it's Team Cherry Pickers, the name of the dev. So.
Oh, okay. Team Cherry Pickers.
Yep.
Gotcha. Okay.
But yeah, it's
really
neat.
Dialogue. Okay.
Yep. It's literally free, so check it out if you want. I liked it. I like the vibe of it, though. I love those sort of like cozy cyberpunk settings. I like that sort of like, yeah, cozy cyberpunk is kind of my thing, like Valhalla. So yep. They wear their inspiration on the sleeve. The art style's really similar, and they even have like a sort of like a Dorothy cameo in the middle of like the shop that you see like the whole game. You can just kind of see Dorothy just in like a screen basically. So they definitely know their audience and know their inspiration. So, but it's cool. So, and it was a good good distraction while I'm waiting for Sukuban's next release, 45 Parabellum. So
yeah, that game looks really sick. Do they have a release date for that yet?
No, they finished development on the game. So
they did. Okay.
Yeah, so they're just trying to figure out how to release it now. Basically, they're trying to work with their publisher to get that released. So
gotcha. Yeah, sorry, I'm adding dialogue to my library just because you said it. So
yeah,
I'm doing.
Yep.
Okay. Okay. Cool.
Good experience.
Yeah, that is cool. I saw you play like the very end of it the other night, so I was like, oh, okay. What are you playing?
It's a nice looking game. So, yeah. It's just a nice looking game. I think the story is serviceable. I like I said, it has a neat twist that I like. So and it wraps up really well, I think. So
Okay, cool. Well, Noah, I've been trying to I've been trying to be better about playing games that you recommend me.
yeah, is that
That's
right? After
been
I played like 3 or 4 different games that you recommended all the way
I
through.
I thought it would be good to play some of those. Okay, so let's not get ahead of ourselves. But I have been playing some of Noah's favorite video games, and one of them is Yume Nikki. Noah, tell the
Yeah.
people about Yume Nikki if they don't know what it is.
I think I already talked about it on last podcast because I did play through it
Yes,
before
yes.
last podcast, but just a brief
Okay, okay.
reminder.
So let's be a brief reminder, and
Yeah.
also what are some things people should know about playing it, maybe? Because
Okay.
I feel like I wasn't prepared going in. Maybe we'll put it
Okay.
that way.
Okay. So Yume Nikki is the walking sim of walking sims. It's the walking sim before walking sim was a thing. It kind of a lot of these walking sims build their foundation on Yume Nikki basically.
Okay.
And yeah, it's like a early 2000s RPG Maker game, and you go around in this dream world. You have this sort of hub area with 12 different doors, and you go around looking for 24 different effects, which are basically like equipable sort of items that change your main character Madotsuki's appearance. And some of them have function as well. And so yeah, it's basically you just go around in these levels, and they're kind of interconnected as well. So that they have like you can go to the different 12 different like main worlds through the hub area, but then there's other worlds inside of those worlds that you can only get to through those worlds that aren't connected to the hub area. And then
Yeah.
eventually you can end up in another one of the worlds that are in the hub area. So they're kind of interconnected in that way, sort of pseudo Metroidvania ish interconnection. Um, but yeah, you're basically you just walk around and you see different scenery, events, and collect the things, and then once you collect all 24, the goal is to drop them off in the middle of the Nexus area, the hub world, and something unlocks after you do that. You just go out and check the balcony after that. So, yep.
Yeah, yeah. You've been telling me to play this for a long, long time. I have it. It's on Steam for free.
Yep.
My initial thoughts of it. So I so you've told me what it was, but like actually getting into it, it was kind of bewildering to me. I was like, I'm not quite sure what to do, so I'm going to look up something.
Yeah.
And the thing I looked up was like, what's the goal? What do you want me to do, game? And the game was like, yeah, get these effects. I was like,
Yep.
okay, all right, get these effects. And then I closed the guide. I don't want to see how to get them, if possible, that sort of thing. And so far that's been going okay. I don't know how I feel about it. I don't feel bad about it. I like aspects of it. Right now it feels rather aimless, but I am not deep enough to find the fun necessarily. I'm still feeling my way through it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It is a very foreign game. I don't play a lot of games like this. I have played walking sims here and there, but nothing like this so specifically. Like this is more Lynchian than other games even dream to be. Like, and I do mean that in the literal sense of it is dreamlike
Yeah.
and abstract and without purpose sometimes. Like it feels
Yep.
like it's artistic for the sake of it sometimes. And I don't know if that's detrimental to my enjoyment or not yet. Like I am really feeling it out. I do not have a broad opinion about this game yet. I'm still trying to take it in. And that's what art can be, is just ruminating on
Yeah.
it. Sometimes you have an immediate opinion. Like I had an immediate opinion about Resident Evil Requiem. Like, but sometimes I got to chew on a game for a long time and decide I like it.
Yeah.
And this might be one of those things, or decide I don't like it. Like it could be whatever. Um, I guess we'll see how this goes. But you said you took you a couple hours, but you played through this once already.
Yeah.
From the
I've played
Steam
through a
reviews, it
couple
looks
times.
like it's anywhere from 4 to 6 hours seems like the normal
Yep.
normal go. So
that's what I would say.
I've only played. I played like 30 minutes to an hour of this game, like not even that much. I've been trying to. I was playing it when I was on break, so I didn't really get to play a lot of it.
Yeah.
But I like what it's going for. I like some of the ideas. I like that you can never get stuck. That's very useful.
Yep.
You pinch your little cheek.
Yep.
You pinch your cheek when you're in the dream world and you wake up in your bed, which is cool. And yeah, it's got a lot of interesting. It's got a lot of interesting ideas or interesting visual things that it's doing. It's very eclectic in terms of just its presentation. There's a lot going on there. There's a lot of weird things to look at, and I like that. Um, I'd like to know what the person thought about when they were making this game. Honestly, like it's very esoteric, shall we say?
Yeah, it's esoteric until you start to notice patterns in the themes of what's like being presented to you, and then it starts to become very disturbing in a very poignant way. And then you start to think, man, what was like the creator think they made this game? There's not a lot known about. I think Kikiyomi is the name of the creator.
Yeah.
So there's not a lot known about them. But
yeah, it's a mystery. It's a mysterious game, and there's not a lot of games that are mysterious.
Yeah,
there's not a lot of games that like hide their true nature from you or are not as forthcoming about their themes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's not even very much of a game. It's more of an experience, I would say.
I would not really call it a game.
Yeah,
it is more like it's more like a playable idea. Like it's hard to that's a weird way to describe this game. But like in terms of interactability, it is an experience. Yeah. I think it's very light. You could play this on a DVD player if you wanted to. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like it's that level of interactability. You could literally press 2 buttons and get the thing done, right? You
can play it on the PSX DVR remote.
Could do that. We'll get into that later for sure. Because for the video audience, you will have a treat, and Noah will describe some fun stuff. But yeah, kind of winding down. I don't have too much to say about Yume Nikki. Honestly, I just wanted to hear you talk about it again and knowing some context about it now. Because for the longest time, you would say this stuff, and I would not have anything to pair it to. And that I played, I'm like, okay, I know what he means now. So
it's a game that made me really think deeply about games. So that's kind of what that thing is. I really like that thing. I really I don't think I would be like I'd care so much about games like as experiences without that sort of game. So
yeah, it's a fascinating thing. I will say it is fascinating. So I am looking forward to chipping away at that little by little. It's not going to be that long, I don't think. So yeah, that's Yume Nikki from what I played. Couple mentions. This is not going to be full in depth anything. I started Armor Core 6 again at your behest. And I played a couple missions again, and I'm like, yeah, this game just feels real good.
That
I should
game
just
is really, really good. It's the best FromSoft story, like hands down. Like that story, the dialogue, the characters, it's amazing. It's great.
Yeah. I think I mentioned last time I played it, I got through like the walking boss, like the walking in the desert boss. That was a cool boss.
That's a fun one. Yep. Going
through
and
there's a lot of good
destroying all its generators and stuff. It's really fun.
For sure. Doing that was really fun. I got to the point where you get your first mech on mech fight, like with an actual pilot, and then they give you the option to pick a contract. That's when I stopped playing that game, I think, because I think I just got sidetracked. It's not that I wasn't liking it; I really liked it a lot. But yeah, that's kind of where I was at. It's a fun game to just play. It's just a fun ass game.
It's very toolboxy. You definitely want to change up your armored core with different parts for different missions. Some missions call for a more stealthy approach, while others call for loud and proud. So I've played almost every build you can think of in that game in my time playing that thing, and sometimes you just need to have a really heavy unit with like double machine guns just to get through like a really tough fight. You know, that just is kind of how that game works. So if you get stuck, you kind of just have to adjust your armored core. That's the best way to handle getting stuck in that thing.
I do like mechanically min maxing though in my games. Like I love building vehicles in games. I found I love building kits in games, building builds in games. Like I love really min maxing that stuff. That's a fun thing for me. And I look forward to it. And this game has it in spades. So more of that at some point for sure. So yeah, Armored Core 6. Like I said, I started Majora's Mask. Again, getting used to it. It is very familiar in the Zelda way, but like it's so different in the Majora's Mask way with the timer. I'm not used to it yet, but I love what it's doing, and I finally think that game is okay now. So that's kind of where I'm at with it. So I started that up since we last recorded and have played probably an hour or two of that. Now I should say it's the beginning of Majora's Mask. I played it like 30 times already, but once I talk about new stuff, I'm sure we will talk more about it. So yeah, that's kind of a couple check-ins. And then the final thing for the game block, unless you had anything else, was I was playing Final Fantasy VII Rebirth again. I think this is going to be my trophy game that I just plug away at and do. Because a couple years ago, I mentioned it million times, I played through Final Fantasy VII Remake again and did all the stuff. I platinumed that game. I adore that game, and I want to do that with Rebirth because I think Rebirth is not as good in some ways and even better in other ways. The combat's leagues better. Well, not leagues. It's way better in a lot of ways. We'll put it that way. Because they have the synergy attacks and there's a lot more characters to use. You use almost the whole party except for Vincent Valentine and Sid. So like you have Red 13, you have Kate Sith. Yeah, like you have your most of the party at this point, and it's just really fun. You have Yuffie as well. Yeah, Yuffie's part of it. She was playable in the DLC for Remake with her own, standalone expansion, pretty much, or additional expansion. But in this one, she's fully playable, everything, and her moveset's maybe the most fun besides Cloud, in my opinion. That game is just really good. The Rebirth is great. Again, mixed on the ending, but it's a game about mini games. Like there's a lot of story in that game for sure, and a lot of like big bombastic Final Fantasy VII stuff. But like they made a open world modern Final Fantasy game. Like that's what that game is. It's so different from Remake. Remake is like a end to end like third person action game pretty much with levels. It's like a level based action game. And this game is not. It's flat open world with towers to climb and open and unfog parts of the map and do mini games like chocobo races and catching moogles, and like it's a weird game. It's so different from the original remake, and honestly the original Final Fantasy VII. But it's really, I'm used to playing open world games. It's interesting to see their spin on it for sure, and going back to it's been like like fits like a glove. Like I've been doing all the Queen's Blood stuff, which is their card game, which is by far the best card game Final Fantasy games have had. You don't like Triple Triad that much, and Tetramaster is kind of like for some people. I like Tetramaster fine. It doesn't make a lot of sense, but like I feel like I was lucky enough playing it in 9. I could probably hack it if I really thought about it or looked up a tutorial or something. But whatever. Their card games are usually hit and miss. But yeah, Queen's Blood for sure is the best, and it's got the best theme too. That's really good. I don't even know how to explain what Queen's Blood plays like. So basically, like you have these cards. They each have abilities. Like, hey, if you lay this down, every time a unit dies, you get +1 power. It kind of reminds me of Gwent a little bit, Noah. Like a little bit. Like you have these rows, basically, and you're basically playing for territory. You're laying down cards, and each card can fill up these many spaces in a map. Each spot on the tile set, basically, there's like a row of 6 tiles per row when you lay a card down. You place these cards that have a cost, like, hey, I have 1 pawn here. I can only put a card that costs 1 pawn up to like 3, 4, 5 to get like super powerful cards and all that stuff. And you're basically just trying to play for territory. So the more spaces you have, the more rows you occupy, and the higher number you have per row, the more basically like you own the more territory, you win is the idea, and it's really easy. A lot of the times, like even the harder stuff is easy because you bang your head enough at it enough, you'll eventually win. But it's so addicting. Like if they just made a breakout game like that, I would just play it all the time. Like if they made online Queen's Blood, I would absolutely play it with people. It's very, very good. Uh, but yeah, just a little bit about that Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I imagine it's going to go very similar to how Remake went in terms of attaining trophies, where you just have to get all the stuff first. You have to get all the materia, you have to get all the summons, you have to do all the activities, and then once you get all that, you bring it with you to conquer hard mode. Is the idea? And playing it through again with no mana regen, no health regen, nothing. Like you can't use items, whatever. That was what made that game sing for me, was the hard mode. Like it is a cherished memory of mine playing that through on hard mode. I love that game even more playing it that way because it was challenging. It felt like it was a new game somewhat because you had to be on it all the time or you were cooked. And then the battle simulator is the final thing you do, and it's the same here where you have to fight bosses at the end. Very like I'm pretty sure you fight Sephiroth in the battle simulator too, and it's really tough. It's really tough. So yeah, I'm going to be doing this again, and I'm really excited to see what the third part looks like and what it's called. So like a lot of the characters in Rebirth, I promise this is the last tangent I have. A lot of the characters in Rebirth, like from the Soldier project, if you don't know, Soldier is the project that Cloud is from, basically become super soldiers. At some point they reach a limit, an expiration, and they kind of become mindless like zombie drone people. And every time they walk around, they go reunion, reunion, this and that. But they named, so I thought Reunion was going to be the third game.
Yeah.
Basically, like, oh, Final Fantasy VII Reunion, like that makes sense. That's what Sephiroth's been talking about. That's when they've all been talking about. But they named Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core Reunion, and I'm like, okay, why did they do that? It feels like they were building to something. I wonder if that was a mistake or what. I don't know. I really don't know. Maybe they just call it Final Fantasy VII Reunion, but that would be kind of confusing. I think
I don't
they could
think
technically do it. But
I don't think they can make those things any more confusing than they already are. So those things are already
might be right
extremely confusing to the average consumer. So I don't
I mean,
it would matter if they called it Reunion or not at this point.
well, people go like, okay, what is this? Like it almost needs to be a Final Fantasy 13 situation where you call it 13-2 or something, or 7-2. Like it kind of needs to be that, but they don't. They just subtitle them, so people are like, are these sequels? Are these new games? Like, what are these? And they're kind of like, yeah, they're kind of both. Like it's a weird project. So, and that's why I was so adamant talking to our friend about it. He wants to play through all of them and do all that. I'm so adamant that he plays the original 7 because spoilers for Final Fantasy VII, the remake project, it's almost like Final Fantasy VII, the original game, has happened already in these games. And this is an alternate timeline in some ways. So, like, it is vital that you play that so you have a base understanding of what happens in that game. Because the altered stuff is not the same. They are doing new things in these games. And that's what I tried to impress upon the person that wanted to play these. Like, listen, you need to play it that way, or you're not going to know what the hell they're talking about. Like, you really need to know. It's very vital, because the nature of some characters is changing. Another spoiler: Zack is alive partially at the end of Rebirth. Like, that is a big deal. He dies in Crisis Core. Like, they are doing weird stuff in that game. So, and then from there they kept it wide open. Like, they resurrected him pretty much. And then you go like, where do you go from here? Like, is he going to be in 3 in a major way? Are they going to Neon Genesis Evangelion rebuild this and bring back characters and keep them alive? Like, what's going on? I don't know. Anyway, it's weird. It's that Tucker Carlson bit I showed you. It's what's going on? How I feel about it. That's the rule. That's the goal now. Anyway, but yeah, I'm Final Fantasy VII pilled. I'm very close to the stuff. I don't know how it's going to go, but anyway, that's enough for me. So, yeah, that wraps up the game block. That's some video games. We have been playing stuff. So yeah, there's a good little bit there. Yeah, that is a good amount. And let's talk about some more. So this was your idea. for our topic. I don't know. We can kind of go at length as much as we're satisfied. So I'll say the title, kind of, I guess, talk about what you want to do with it. So retro console libraries. So the thing I put in was games on system we want to explore the most. I guess, what does that mean to you? What was your idea for this category, this topic?
Yeah, just like finding like a like console that you've never really explored the library of, like a retro console with a lot of exclusives, and just talking about like, what you really want to dig into on that console, what makes that console tick, and why you think it's unique, and what piece of the library you want to, check out. So
Okay.
that's kind of the
So
idea
I
there.
guess what was the yeah, so what was the console you wanted to highlight for yourself? What were some games that you were looking at to play at some point?
Yeah, I think for me it's definitely got to be the Sega Saturn. That's like kind of like the thing that I really like to learn more about. Um, and yeah, I just kind of want to figure out how to, get into that. Get a Saturn and maybe mod it, and then try playing some of the games. And a lot of the really good Saturn games are Japanese only, but they have English fan translations, and there are ways to get those running on actual Saturn hardware. So that's kind of what I'd like to do at some point. And
Hmm.
yeah, I mean, there's a ton of different games for that are Saturn exclusive, that I really want to check out. I want to check out like Dragon Force. I want to check out the Panzer Dragoon trilogy. I want to play Knights. I want to give Knights a fair trial.
No, you don't
Yeah, I
though.
do. I do. It's a really good looking game. The gameplay probably still sucks, but it's a really good looking game.
Right.
Um, I
I'm
want to
adding all
play.
these, by the way. I made a thread. I'm adding these. I'm writing them as you say them. So
Okay.
continue.
I want to play. This is on other things, but I do want to play Radiant Silvergun. Um, let's see what else did they have. I mean, they've got like. I want to play Bug. Everyone wants to play Bug. You remember the hit game
Ooh,
Bug
I've
for
heard of
the
Bug. I've heard of
Saturn?
Bug.
Bug is
Bug's a good name for a game.
it's an okay 2D platformer, is what I understand. So, but
Yeah.
I'd check it out. I definitely want to play Magic Knight Ray Earth. That's supposed to be really good. That's based off like the anime and the manga.
Ray Earth. Yeah.
Ray
Yeah.
Earth, yep.
Is Burning Rangers on Saturn? I don't know if Burning Rangers is on Saturn.
Guardian Heroes is on Saturn. I don't. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
Burning
look up
Rangers
Burning
is
Rangers.
on Saturn. Yep, yep,
Yeah, Burning Rangers is awesome.
yep.
One of the best themes I can think of. Here, I'm not gonna write your name. I'm just gonna write Sega Saturn. There we go.
Yeah.
Because I'm interested in some of these games too. So
Yep, yep. There's just a
that
really
works.
good library that I want to check out at some point. And like you can emulate these things. I don't. Oh yeah, Power Slave. Power Slave was on the Saturn as well.
Oh
They've
yeah,
they've got that on modern stuff now, but
they do, and I
boomerang
hear it's
shooter.
really good.
Yep,
Yeah, I
it's a
hear that's
good
a really
good
good
boomer shooter.
port slash upres of that game. Yeah,
Yep, yep. Um,
yeah. Power Slave's a good name too.
yeah, yep. It's a cool theme
It's
too.
got nothing to do
It's
with me.
that like Egyptian, right? That Egyptian theming is pretty cool. So, uh-huh.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, and then
I'm gonna
there's
look
like
up a list.
that was just like the like the US, library I was naming off. Then there's like the Japanese only library that's got, fan translations now.
Hmm.
They've
Hmm.
got like see, they've got a cotton game, Cotton Boomerang. I like those cotton games, they're pretty fun. Soul Hackers was on the Saturn. Yep, that was the original release of Soul Hackers.
Oh,
Shin Megami Tensei Soul Hackers was on Saturn.
there's a good 3DS version of that game. I think
Yeah,
people
there is.
prefer.
Yeah, the original release of Grandia
Uh,
was on the Saturn. It's a good way to play that.
mhm.
From what I understand, I love Grandia.
Astel's a pretty good one. That's
Yep,
a good one.
yep.
Um,
There's a couple of Langrisser games for the Saturn.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Lingerser series.
Yeah, the Lunar games were on the Saturn originally.
Yeah, they are. Did you ever play the re-releases of those? Or
I never played the re-releases. No, I only ever played the originals.
Yeah, I need to go back and do that.
Police Knots I think Police Knots Saturn is the only way to play the English version of that game officially.
Yeah,
I think that was the only
sure
official
right.
English translation was on the Saturn. So that's an interesting thing.
If you want to get to popular stuff, Virtua Fighter 2 is on here.
Yep.
As well.
Yep. Lots of.
Die Hard Arcade is awesome.
All the original, so like the original Virtua Fighter and Virtua Fighter 2 were on there, and Virtua Fighter Kids was on there.
Virtua Fighter Kids, yeah. Have you played Die Hard Arcade? That game is awesome.
No, I haven't.
It's an awesome game. Yeah,
there's a lot of good like arcade shooters and things like that as well. Like Saturn was like the last this is an arcade console sort of console. Yep. That was like the idea of the Saturn was taking the arcade home. Like it was the last one of those things. Like there were things before that, right? Like the Neo what's it called? The Neo Geo Neo Geo.
Neo Geo.
Yep, yeah. that was like arcade at home, Turbo Graphics, whatever it's called. But that that sort of thing, that they kind of spanked on that 2D sort of gaming, and so they didn't really have a whole lot of 3D capability on the Saturn.
I like the look of Saturn Bomberman. That's a good looking version of Bomberman. I know you don't like Bomberman. But...
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan. There's a really good yeah, they got Metal Slug on there, but there's a really good sort of mech game on Saturn. I don't remember what it's called now, but like you basically it's mission based, and you have like a choice of different like female, I don't know, like guides, I guess, and they like show up in the corner and they like yell at you like, hey, you're doing a great job, or hey, you're doing terrible. And like if you do well, you get like a sexy scene at the end or something like that, like a like a Samus style like picture of them, but that one's interesting because it recently got a fan translation, and they actually did a fan dub of it as well. So
interesting.
Yeah, they actually dubbed over all the voices of like the girls yelling at you, basically. And yeah, and so you can play that in English now, and since it's a fan dub, the quality is hit or miss, but that's the era. The era of dubs was hit or miss, so it's like it's true to the era. It's great. So I definitely want to play that at some point.
Another good one is Fighters Mega Mix. Have you seen Fighters Mega Mix?
I have, yeah.
That's a cool one. It's just Sega putting a bunch of their characters. It's like a Smash Brothers, like Tekken like fighter. It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah. That's a good bit from the Saturn. Any other standout gems you can think of? Because we were mentioning Xbox. I kind of want to talk Xbox at some point. Yeah. That would be cool.
I guess Rayman was on Xbox. Saturn as well. So.
Yeah. Is that the way to play that though for like the older ones? Like, what's the best? Is that
it might be the best one? If you're playing a 2D game, 9 times out of 10, you want to play it on the Saturn because the Saturn was built for 2D sprite-based games, whereas the PS1 was it was capable of it, but it wasn't built for that. It was more built for 3D. The Saturn was not built for 3D, so if you're playing a 3D game, you usually don't want to play it on the Saturn.
Right.
So that's kind of how those things go.
They made a 2D console during a 3D era, which is really odd,
Well, I think that it was the right call in terms of like the quality of 3D was just not there yet. Like 3D was really rough, and so they're like, oh, people don't want this. They're gonna want 2D because we've kind of started perfecting this 2D thing at this point. And so, like, it's literally 2D perfection. That's what the Saturn is, right?
Yeah.
But Yeah, whereas the Sony and Nintendo just were like, oh, we'll just do 3D. I don't even think there's any 2D games on the Nintendo 64. Like 2D sprites look really bad on the
Mm,
Nintendo 64. Like if you play
I'm
like
trying to
Paper Mario,
think.
there's so much artifacting in that sort of game.
Yeah, I can't think of many 2D games on the 64.
Yeah, it's not
If any, if any.
it's not really capable of that at all, really. Um,
No,
Baroque was
yeah.
also on the Saturn. I adore Baroque. I recommend everyone who likes horror and roguelikes to play that thing. That thing is amazing and awesome. And
Mhm.
you can play it on. Apparently, they've got like the OG version now on the Switch, so you can play that sort of like OG Baroque experience on the Switch. Don't play the like PS2 Wii version. That version's like they animeized it and it's kind of really
Oh,
bad.
did they?
Yeah,
That's wild.
it's really like they made it like a 3D like animeized sort of thing and like it just is not capturing what Baroque is at all. So,
Mhm.
but I
Yeah.
adore that thing. It's really cool seeing like a roguelike dungeon crawler that's in like that sort of like retro era. It's really unique in that way. Um,
Mhm.
but
Yeah, I've started kind of chipping
Bulk
away at.
Slash, Bulk Slash is the game that I was thinking of. That's the mech game. That is the game that I want to play.
Okay.
Bulk Slash. Yep.
Bow slash. Okay. Okay.
Yep.
Some stuff I was thinking about because I have a pretty extensive history with Xbox as a brand and
Yeah.
original Xbox specifically. I played a lot of. There's some really good stuff on there, like Ninja Gaiden Black. That's
Yeah.
an awesome game. That's maybe one of the best Xbox games.
Yeah. We were
Period.
just talking about
Um,
Xbox OG earlier. That's funny. Yeah.
Yep.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, The Suffering is a game I've always wanted to play. It's like a horror third-person shooter. I think it's kind of top down. It might be ISO slop. Who knows? You're probably not interested in that. Jade Empire, but BioWare had like an amazing run of RPGs on the original Xbox with
Yeah.
that and Knights of the Old Republic. They didn't do the second one. That was Obsidian, but those are great games. Jet Set Radio Future is really good as well. Um, let's see. The Chronicles of Riddick as a series is terrible, but the video games are good. And Escape from Butcher Bay is one of the best ones for sure. Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time is awesome. All the Splinter Cell games are really good. Those games actually hold up. I played Splinter Cell One pretty extensively a couple years ago on backwards compatibility for my series. I'm like, this is pretty all right. Let's see. Time Splitters, of course, that's kind of multi-platform. I mentioned Phantom Dust earlier. That's a really interesting game. You might like Phantom Dust. Um, yeah, Max Payne also. Max Payne 1 and 2 are just really good games. I'm excited for the remakes. They're remaking 2. Well, they're remaking both of them, but I prefer 2 um, for sure. They were going to make a Phantom Dust sequel, and it was 2014 Xbox or something, and it was the one conference where like nothing came to fruition that year because like they didn't know how to make games and ship them consistently, which is funny. Um, yeah, Breakdown's good. Stranglehold's okay. Yeah, Stranglehold, that's all right. Oddworld, Stranger's Wrath. Have you ever played any Oddworld games? I don't know if you have or not.
Is that like Abe's Odyssey, stuff like that?
Yes.
Yeah, I own the original Oddworld. Yeah, I have it on
You do.
PS1. Yep. I got
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
got stuck, to be honest.
Oh,
And so
yeah.
I just kind of got frustrated with it. I tried it a couple times. I just kept getting stuck. Maybe I'm not
Hmm.
that game's target audience. I don't know. It's interesting, but um, I'm not very good with puzzly stuff like that. So
Yeah, right. Crimson Skies is a classic. That's one of the best Xbox games. Um, I,
yeah,
I,
I've heard of that
I
one.
think I think a sequel would be great, but I don't know who would play that. That's such a niche game. Um, Otogi, I've always wanted to play. I forget who made that game. Was it FromSoft? Maybe I'm wrong about this. Otogi. I could have sworn it was a FromSoft game. Yep, it is FromSoft. Yeah, Otogi Myth of Demons is a FromSoft game. And I think you can play it on backwards compatibility as well. That is an Xbox game. So I've always wanted to play that too. I don't know if they made two of these or one of these, but it is a FromSoft game if you're interested. It's an action role playing game from
Yeah.
software and published by Sega. So
You said
yeah,
Otogi?
Otogi,
Yeah, I've heard of that. Yeah.
Otogi.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen
And then you have
sense of gameplay of that thing. Yep.
yeah, and then you have some David Cage games. Well, one specifically, Indigo Prophecy. People liked okay. It wasn't like a heavy rain, but people liked it just fine. Beyond Good and Evil is well liked as well.
Yep.
They have Fatal Frame as well. Like I said, Tom Clancy was a big factor on this thing. There's a lot of Splinter Cell games. There's a lot of Rainbow Six games on here. Yeah, PSO 1 and 2 made it here as well. The best version of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater is Pro Skater 3 on the Xbox. People love that version of that game.
Nice.
Yeah, they also have Capcom vs SNK 2 EO, the one that we played.
Yeah.
That's also
Classic.
maybe one of the better versions of that too.
It's like one of the best fighting games you can play straight up. I love that thing.
That game is so good.
Yeah.
That game has no right to be as good as it is.
Like the sprites, like the art style of the sprites, like are so all over the place, right? Like they're so mismatched and like, but it's something about it's just so charming. Seeing like it's almost like an official like Mugen sort of game, right?
Yeah, it does feel like actual licensed Mugen.
Yeah.
You're so right about that.
Yep.
Oh my gosh, that's insane.
Yep. That thing
That
is
is
so
insane.
charming. Yep.
Yeah. The Warriors is really good. That was a movie licensed game that Rockstar just wanted to make a game based off of.
Nice.
It was like an old 80s like cult movie that they're just like, we're just gonna make a movie based on the war or a game based on the movie The Warriors, which is hilarious. Yeah, and the Lord of the Rings games were actually really good. The Two Towers was great, and also Return of the King was awesome. It always annoyed me they didn't have the Fellowship of the Ring game, but the Two Towers basically covers both movies. It's kind of doing the work of both, which is interesting. And also another interesting thing, I'm pretty sure it was EA Redwood Shores who made those games, or at least Two Towers, because then they went off and did Dead Space 1, 2, and 3. So that's an interesting anecdote there. But they have Otogi 1 and 2, so on there that'd be really interested in. And of course, you got to get Dead or Alive Extreme Beach Volleyball in there. That's the most important game on the console. So
yeah, you're not a real man if you don't play Dead or Alive Extreme Beach Volleyball.
That's what I'm saying, dude. Like, Dead or Alive is an interesting series. Apparently, they're making a new one. And the physics are going to be awesome, I bet.
Yeah,
awesome in scare quotes. We'll put it that way.
I watched a video essay recently about the television program X-Play. I don't know if
X-Play.
X-Play, yeah.
I have.
It was like it was like before like G4 was really a thing. There was X-Play, and the like the main host of that Adam Sessler, I think is his name, was like really like
a miserable. Well, he's a miserable old fuck nowadays.
Yeah, but he like he really appealed to like that like sort of like dude bro like I love boobies sort of things. That's what I was thinking of whenever you were like Dead or Alive Beach Volleyball.
So like I'm pretty left leaning, but like he's become like an ultra left, like block everybody Twitter guy now, which is funny. He's like fuck you, get out of my DMs, man. He's become like super soy about it. I'm like, oh my god, of course it could only go this way, right? Yeah. For sure. Yeah, the Xbox is so endlessly fascinating. Even like the old games, like not the old games, even the bad games on there, I kind of want to check out. Like, is it Brute Force? Brute Force always fascinated me. That's a weird early Xbox game that just like they wanted to make happen. Like they made like a whole thing. It's like Suicide Squad, but for like rejected toys is what it looks like. They were going to make Brute Force 2 for the 360, but because of the criticism of the first game, they didn't. They didn't go through with it, obviously, but yeah, they made a comic of it and everything. Yeah, brute force is kind of awesome. Yeah, it's so funny to see like what people thought would like actually do well compared to like you see all like the other stuff they did to tie into it, like all the big stuff, and you're just like, oh, this never went anywhere.
Yeah, but you say that, as like, it's like something that happened in the past, but like even recently, we've had these big high cost, high publicity failures like Concord and like
Concord,
yeah, Concord mentioned, and what is it? What's the other one? Is it Vanguard or Guardian or what's that new
High
one?
Guard,
High Guard. There we go. Yeah, that one just crashed and burned
gone.
as well, and
yeah.
So it's funny because some things just don't change in gaming, right? There's always going to be those sort of these companies they come up with this idea. They're like, this could be a highly marketable thing. Let's go ahead and make this multimedia for it, and it just doesn't take off. It's so interesting to see.
It's kind of crazy, yeah. Yeah. Do you have any other consoles you'd like want to dive into, like deep into the stuff?
Yeah. I mean, I'll probably save it for like another show. Let's not go too deep into like these sort of.
We could do a part 2 of this, maybe. Yeah.
But just for like a teaser. Really interested in like the PC 88 and 98. That's like been a dream of mine to get into
now
PC 88 and 98. Yep. I watch a lot of PC 88 and 98 content on YouTube, so
really.
But most
Can you send me some links? I would look at that. I would look at that.
Yeah. Like there's a show I watch called PC 98 Paradise in particular. I like watching that. He plays through a lot of different PC 98 and PC 88 games on hardware.
Nice.
So
okay.
I would highly recommend watching that show, and I just really want to play a lot of these things myself. Yeah, I'm gonna send you this.
So the interesting thing, all right, the thing that would get me interested in Xbox's new thing, they're making the Project Helix that they have. They are making it completely Xbox cross compatible with every generation they have ever done. That's cool. You can put an original Xbox game theoretically into this, and you can play it. Depending on what it is, I assume.
So it's gonna have a disc drive. Weird, then it sounds like they're not foregoing the disc drive.
Maybe they might have a disc drive sort of situation. I don't know how they're gonna do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it'd be a good time. It'd be a good way to play stuff like this. So they might get my money that way because I play a lot of back compatible stuff on Xbox. Time will tell. They really have to sell this box to me, but it's going to be primarily PC. So I don't know. It's going to be a weird situation. It's going to be a 2027 or 8 thing, I would imagine, before they even talk about this thing or show it in any way.
Yep.
But with the shakeups at Xbox, with Phil retiring, quote unquote, and Sarah Bond leaving, and Asha Sharma, the AI lady, getting in there, it's gonna be a weird road. We'll see how that goes. Satya Nadella got his lady for sure. So
they've always had like some weird ideas there at Xbox because they were the ones who were like wanting to make it to where you couldn't sell your games on like the used games market. Like that was like an Xbox thing. I think that was like the Xbox One era. They were like leading up to it. They were like, yeah, we want to make it to where you can't sell your games on the used games market because that's stealing money from us. It's like whoa.
Well, there's a lot of really interesting conjecture about that. So I was listening to a podcast recently. I mentioned the guy who made it earlier, Jeff Gerstmann, former Giant Bomb GameSpot editor in chief, all that stuff. He was talking to Adam Boyes, the former, I think, third-party relations or publishing relations manager of PlayStation. I forget what his title was, but he was part of the show that did the E3 Dreams and stuff with like Final Fantasy VII and Last Guardian and all that. And then he also did the PS4 reveal about like the video he did with Shu Yoshida about how you share your games. Here you go. Like he is part of that video. And he was talking to Jeff about this on his podcast. He's like, yeah, we actually we were listening to the Bombcast and hearing how you guys reacted to the Xbox situation about the DRM stuff, which is basically what Steam already does. Like you can't share those games after the fact.
Sure.
But it sounds so much worse for our console.
Yeah.
You know, because of the physicality of it at that point.
Yep.
And also always online wasn't to that point.
Yep.
You know, physical sales were still measurable and important in a way where it's not as much now, but it was back then. And so the idea, basically, like in some ways, Xbox has never recovered from that video. Like in some ways, it was so to the bone sort of thing. But he's like, I was listening to you guys talk about it, and you kind of gave me the idea to go like, okay, let's make this simple. They're having trouble communicating how to share their stuff. They have all these rules. We'll just show them what we already do. You give your game to your friend. That's it. And that was the killer blow to Xbox. And they honestly haven't recovered since then. It's something they still haunts their dreams. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just fascinating to hear that after the fact. You know what I mean?
PlayStation's kind of done
from something that was there.
PlayStation's kind of done like a lot of like similar stuff with when they undercut the Saturn in a big way, because the Saturn, you know, they were kind of rushing the Saturn out the door to beat the PlayStation out the door. Basically, they wanted to beat the PlayStation, and you know, they announced, you know, like, yeah, Saturn's gonna be out, and then like the like one of like the Sony heads came up on E3. I think this is the first E3, I'm pretty sure. And he comes up after this Sega guy, and he names off like the price of the PlayStation, and then he just leaves the stage. That's the only thing he said. So
doesn't he say $199 or something?
Yeah, $199 or something like that. Yeah, and then he just leaves.
Yeah.
Yep. It's an awesome moment in gaming history. And yeah, just completely like, you know, it just it didn't like that act, you know, didn't ruin the Saturn. It's more like that's like the big like sort of wrap up of like that whole era, like what happened in that era, right? Is that the PlayStation just kind of undercut Sega in a big way and kind of kicked them out of the market more than Nintendo ever could have dreamed of kicking Sega out of the market. It was really Sony who kicked them out of the market. They kind of stole their entire sort of market, you know, because Nintendo had this diehard market, whereas Sega, you know, they had their diehards, but they were more so just the everyman, you know, console, and more so than I'd say even Nintendo in certain ways. And then for, you know, Sony to just come in and just undermine them, just, you know, Sega kind of just started having the writing on the wall at that point. So
yeah, it was it's well, Sega as a company is fascinating. And their final console, the Dreamcast, I think didn't they shadow drop that? They just went like, hey, by the way, it's like on shelves now. Like they announced it and it was on shelves and people were like, what are you talking about? And it was kind of like a last ditch effort, and they wrapped it up like 18 months later. Like it was done. Done. Sega's fascinating story. A lot of weird stuff.
A lot of mismanagement and a lot of bickering between the American side and the Japan side. Like there's a lot of bickering between those two sort of parts of Sega. And so
it's like what if Nintendo of America fought with Nintendo Japan, like sort of thing. So
I don't know any like documented cases of that happening with Nintendo. Like they just kind of fall in line with whatever Japan says. So
right, I mean, basically Nintendo of America is PR and law firm anymore. Like they don't even make games. Like they have Treehouse and they localize as well. So anyway, that's we'll call this the first installment of of talking about some retro libraries. This is cool. I like this. I have a little thread for when we want to plug in to do this again because I kind of there's some stuff I definitely want to talk about. Like I want to talk about um like the 3DS. I want to get into like some really good games on 3DS one day.
Yeah,
And go like,
yeah.
hey, what are some here? You know,
3DS
because
library,
3DS,
DS library, Game Boy Advance library, PSP library, Vita
the Wii
has a tiny bit
library.
of a
I want to get
library.
into the Wii.
The Wii library is
I
great.
wanna I want to tell people about Apuna, Noah. Let me tell people about
Apuna
Apuna.
Matata. Yep. Um,
Exactly, exactly.
yeah,
So
I mean
that is
Dreamcast. You mentioned that's a library I want to check out at some point. So yeah,
100%. Yep. And like we mentioned, a lot of Dreamcast games get to Xbox and other platforms too. So
sure. Yep.
uh,
Yep. That was
yeah,
like the
yeah,
console where it was at that era to where like it lasted so little time that like most games that were on the Dreamcast did most of the popular
support it.
games did
Yeah,
end up going either to GameCube or Xbox basically.
yeah,
That was
for
basically like
sure.
the two options because Xbox was basically just Dreamcast 2 and then Sega was like, "Oh, we want to work with game or with Nintendo, you know, because they're our, long time, rival. We'll work with them pretty closely." And so
Hmm.
they put a lot of things out for GameCube exclusively. So
Yeah,
mostly
yeah.
like Sonic stuff, really. It was mostly like Sonic stuff and like
A lot of
I
Sonic and
think
Sonic Team, very
Sonic
prolific.
Team
Yeah.
as well, yeah, because well, Fantasy Star Online went GameCube and Xbox. I know that much.
Hmm. Hmm.
But and
Yeah.
PC. But PC
Right.
was much later. It was Japan only.
Much later, for sure. But that's the topic. That's the part one of this. We'll call that part one. So that's good.
Cool.
To cap it off, let's kind of wind down with some stuff we've been getting into. Besides, I want you to get into this, so I'll let you get into this in a minute. Let me get my stuff out of the way, and then you go crazy with anime and your PSX DVR. Take us home. That's what I want. That's what I
Sure.
want. So I'll mention some stuff that I got into. Very short stuff. I've been in my dad era. I've been fixing a lot of things. I've been repairing things. I've been doing a lot of errands lately. A lot of car repair, whatever. And I've been getting into my Vietnam War movie back. I've been watching Vietnam War movies.
That's
I
great.
watched Apocalypse Now and Platoon back to back last week, and I'm like, yeah, these movies are great. I like these movies. I mean, they're rough. They're rough movies. It's about Vietnam after all. I mean, it's a war we didn't win. Um, but yeah, I love how that war is so complex. There's a lot going on in that war. You know, um, it's just fascinating to hear. You know, there's fictional accounts for sure, but to see that era be represented is really fascinating. So I've been doing that. I want to watch that Ken Burns documentary, the PBS documentary he made on the Vietnam War. It's like a million hours, but I love that stuff. So yeah, I did that. We watched Utopia 2, which is really good. I talked to you guys in chat about it the night I saw it. Um, Maybe as good as the first one. I don't know. I enjoyed it a lot for sure. It
Yeah.
was it has a really good twist villain that I appreciate. More of the Pit season two. The season two is even better than the first one. Very very good. And then I also watched Memories of Murder, Bong Joon Ho's like detective noir film, um, which was interesting. I don't think I loved it, but I liked it. It's basically about a murderer they never find. So it's a lot of detectives stumbling around, jump kicking people. Like it's really weird. Like they're trying to pin evidence on people and like try to string people up for stuff they didn't do. Like they're not being good cops. And it's really odd to see these characters displayed this way. And there's like a guy from I think he's from Tokyo or something, or um well, not sorry, not Tokyo. He's from like the main. Sorry, it's getting late. He's like from Seoul or whatever, like the main freaking Korea place,
Hmm. Yeah.
capital.
Definitely.
And yeah, my words are completely failing me. But he's basically saying like, hey, you guys suck at doing your job. Let me get in here and solve this crime, and then he can't even do it. So it
Wow.
ends up being like it's based on a story about the first serial killer in Korea in South Korea,
Mm.
and it's a crime spree that doesn't get solved for 30 more years, and so the movie ends with the main character looking into the camera into the audience to like kind of look at the killer as he's watching the movie. And it turns out the killer that it was based on, like the story is based on, watched the movie, and when he was caught, he spoke about it. And it's kind of interesting. So yeah, that's a pretty good time. And then last of all, I am finishing up post war arc in One Piece. I'm about to hit the time skip. I don't know what that means, but um, basically the Straw Hat crew is trying to come back together, and I think it's going to take a while. So there's a 3 year time skip, and we'll see how that goes. Because it's tough right now. Luffy's been by himself, and the Straw Hat gang has been to the Four Winds, and it's like, damn, when are they going to come back together? Because they've been away for like an eighth of the show now at this point. It's just like, when are they ever going to come back? So this next bit's going to be about how they reunite and stuff, and I'm looking forward to that. So yeah, that's me. That's what I have been doing. Mostly that stuff. Mostly One Piece. I've been just watching One Piece. That's how it goes. I guess take it how you want. Do you want to talk about your PSX DVR? Or you want to talk about your anime corner?
Yeah, I can talk a little bit on the PSX DVR. So I finally got the thing up and running, kind of.
Yeah.
I had
Yeah,
to
you're
swap out
fixing
the
yourself.
Yeah, I had to swap out the PSU. The PSU kind of got shot as soon as I bought it, and so had to wait like a month to get the right parts in to replace that. But I've got those installed now. I actually had the thing. It was kind of funny because I had the thing taken completely apart, sitting on like my dining room table for like a month.
Right.
And I was like dreading, like I was like, oh man, this is gonna suck to put this thing back together. I don't even remember how to put this thing back together. And then like the part came in, and like I don't know, everything just like in my brain was like, oh wait a second, I actually know how to put this thing back together. So I just kind of was able to just put Humpty Dumpty back together again, and
Yeah. Right. Mm-hmm.
it's working now. But I still got to get it modded. So that I can actually do things with it, because at least I'm 99% sure that the read write disk on it is shot, which that's typically what happens with these models. But if the hard drive is good, and if the read only disk is good, or the read only laser is good, then I can still use it as, a PlayStation Fat, basically PS2 Fat, which is kind of what I wanted to do anyways. Not really too interested in using it as a DVR, so it's just a jank PS2 Fat is basically what it is at the end of the day. And I wanted a PS2 Fat anyways for modding. So yeah, as long as I can get that hard drive working, I'm hopeful. And then I got to get I hope to get the network capabilities on it up and running as well, because I want to play Monster Hunter Dose on that thing. I want to go on like servers and play that thing on servers. So
I love that game is called Dose. I love that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know why I love that so much, but it's so funny.
It's cool, yeah. But yeah, so that's pretty much it. It comes with like a weird like remote. I'm not gonna grab it, but it's got like a TV remote that you can like move around the menus with. And you can play like games with it if you really want to. It's actually the only way I have to turn mine on and off, because whoever was working on it last broke off the power button. So, and I can swear that it wasn't me, because when I opened it up, it was already, before I opened it up, it was broken. Let's put it that way. Because when I first got it, I was trying the power button. I'm like, this button doesn't feel right. It doesn't click. And then I opened it up, and sure enough, it didn't have a power button. I'm like, oh, okay, well, the only way I can turn this thing on is with the TV remote. So I'm glad I have the TV remote. Otherwise, this thing would not work at all. So, but yeah, it's been a project. It's been fun. I'm really hoping that I can get it to do what I want it to do, which is to play games from the hard drive, so I can play a lot of translated Japanese games from the hard drive. And I also want to play a lot of games from the disk drive, so I hope I can get that disk drive working as well. So, because I got a lot of games on disc that I want to play, and I also want to start burning PS1 games onto CD ROMs again and playing them through a modded console, because I used to do that too. I used to play a lot of like Japanese translated games for PS1 from a disc that I burned. So like from burning individual CD ROMs, basically, like back in the old days. That's kind of the best way to play those. So
gotcha.
Like eventually I might even, I've thought about like instead of like going out and buying like like Japanese only games that I want to play that have like fan translations, I'll just burn those fan translations on a disc, and then I'll buy the case off of like Etsy or somewhere like that, you know, for the game, and then just put the burned disc into the case, so that it, you know, it looks nice on a shelf, but you know, it's the version of the game that I can read. So that's kind of what I've thought about doing with that. So
gotcha. Okay.
So,
okay.
Yeah.
It's a project. Yeah, I like projects from time to time. But yeah.
Yep. But yep, that's the PSX. PSX
That's the PSX?
DSR 5100. That's the model. So
That's the model. Okay.
Yep.
Gotcha. All right. Yeah, tell me about Oshinoko. You seem to be busting at the seams about the show.
I really like it. The greater anime community, or rather like Japanese media community, doesn't really like it, because I guess the manga, like late into the manga, there's like some like incest stuff. I don't really know what that's all about. I'm 3 seasons in, and that hasn't even been close to what the show has at all. So I don't know. I think it's like probably one of the greatest like things on television right now, straight up.
Wow.
I think it's better than, like, you name generic, you know, really really good anime. It's probably better than that. Like Frieren, it's definitely better than that.
Really?
Like,
wow, that is
insanely good. Yep, I stand by that 1000%. That this thing is just the best thing you could be watching this anime season, or any anime season, in recent years. And so if you're not watching Oshinoko, what are you doing with your life? Honestly, like you're just failing yourself. You're a failure to yourself for not watching it.
Damn. Okay. All right. I'm a failure.
Yep. Because it's insanely good. Like once you watch episode 1, you're like, holy crap. Episode 1's basically a movie too. It's like an hour and a half long or something like that.
Oh my gosh, an hour and a half for an anime? Golly.
Yeah. Yep. This thing has such a high production value. It's insanely good. Like I don't know how people aren't just ranting and raving about it. Like I'm not even the target audience for this. This is like an idle thriller, like psychological, like crime thing. I don't watch that sort of stuff. I don't watch any of those keywords. But this thing is just so immaculately produced, and like the storylines and soundtracks and everything is just so over the top. Like, this thing's just insane. And I'm gonna scream to the heavens that like people need to watch this thing until I'm blue in the face, because I think once people start watching this thing, they're gonna be like, holy crap, this guy was right. We were crazy to believe the stupid manga readers.
Yeah. I wanted to watch it, but like they didn't have all the seasons on Crunchyroll. They had one they put season 1 on there, but now there's season 1 and 3. I'm like, I'm not gonna do that. I mean, I know there's other ways to watch it, but that's just easier for me.
Plenty of other ways to watch that thing. Like, you're doing yourself a disservice if you're not just watching it.
I know.
But
I'm a bad boy.
Yeah. That thing, I mean, yeah. I could go on and on about that thing, but I won't. But... Yeah, and then I've been watching Hell's Paradise season 2. I've been getting I'm caught up on that. Basically, I think a new episode aired or something, but
Yeah,
that thing's been really good. It's I don't think it's quite as good as the first season, but it's still pretty dang good. So it's still pretty
that first
interesting.
season's really awesome. That first
Yeah.
season's really.
Yep. They've just peeled away too many of the layers of mystery. I don't really enjoy shows as much when they peel away those layers. Lost kind of did that same thing, right? Where like they get on the island, all this weird stuff's happening, but then as the seasons progress, they peel away that layer of mystery, and it's like, oh well, now it's just like science fiction more so than spooky stuff, and so yeah,
I don't love that.
yeah. But it's still pretty good. Hell's Paradise is kind of that same way. It's like more so like a scientific experiment, but with like sort of like Chinese pseudoscience. But yeah, and then yeah, I finally sat down and made myself get through Trigun Stampede. Now I'm a huge Trigun fan, huge Trigun fan. I love the original.
I have the first issue of the manga, or like the first collection of the manga.
Yeah.
So.
I used to have it on DVD, but my nephew asked for Trigun on DVD for his birthday, and I didn't really have time to go out and buy it, so I just gave him my copy of Trigun on DVD. But I'll go.
Good uncle.
I'll go out and get it again. It's not really a big deal, but it was just I was like, I don't need to watch this thing on DVD anytime soon. So
right.
But yeah. So yeah, I love that thing. I love that original. But Stampede is okay. Stampede and Stargaze. Stargaze is the second season. That's airing right now. It's almost finished. It's got like 1 or 2 episodes left. But Stampede and Stargaze are they're made by the Beastars sort of studio. I don't remember the studio's name, but people who made
they love their 3D animation. I'll tell you that.
That's what this thing is. It's a 3D animation. It's actually really well done. I think I would say it's even more well done than Beastars, to be honest. From what I've seen of Beastars, but it's probably some of the best 3D animation I've seen in anime, and it's a really interesting story. It's not what I like about Trigun that gets highlighted in these. It's kind of like that sort of like Final Fantasy remake sort of thing, where this is like a completely different story, except for this is a completely different story. Like I wouldn't even consider this story to be Trigun. Like straight up, I just try and think of this thing as not Trigun, and I enjoy it a lot better because it doesn't follow the original Trigun's like plot at all, other than like some of the characters are the same, obviously, and then the like overall story is like somewhat similar. Like the overall scenario is somewhat similar to the original Trigun, but
it's like almost like inspired by
exactly. That's exactly how it feels. Yeah. It's by no means a replacement of the original Trigun, and it doesn't even like come close to the quality of the original Trigun. But it's really interesting, and it explores that sort of universe from a completely different perspective. They lean a lot more into the sci-fi elements of Trigun in this version than the Western aspects. Like they barely even touch on like the Western aspects of Trigun in this one. It's mostly about the sci-fi aspects. Like from episode 1, like the first like minute of episode 1 is all about Vash and Knives and as kids on like a space colony. Like that's how they start out. They don't even start out on the Wild West. They start out on the space colony. That's how they start.
Oh, really?
So, yep.
That's really interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really interesting because like that's major spoilers for the original Trigun. Because like you don't even know that Trigun is like a space Western until like you're at least halfway through it when like
sci-fi elements start cropping up, like it presents itself as this Western sort of themed anime, and then you get halfway through and you're like, wait a second, this is a space Western, this is,
Yeah.
has sci-fi elements to it. I love Trigun so much, but so Stampede's good though. Stampede's good. If you don't think of it as a Trigun thing, and it's got some really good action scenes in it, really good fight scenes in it. Like Ruby season 1 and 3 quality levels of 3D fight scenes, like really good 3D fight scenes. Definitely watch for those. And the story's pretty good too. Characters are, they're all right. They're characterized a bit differently than, original Trigun, so you're gonna have to, be okay with that. And they add in new characters and things like that, and they do this weird thing that it kind of a little bit gives me the ick, but I also can kind of see what they're going for, because so with Meryl Streep and Millie Thompson, basically, instead of being insurance salesmen or insurance agents that are trying to get Vash to stop making people do claims on insurance, right?
Yeah,
that's how they are in the original. In this one, it starts out with, in the first season, it's only Meryl Streep, and she has a boss who's sort of like her like supervisor or whatever that's with her, named Roberto. And so
Roberta,
yeah. And so it's like I see what they're kind of trying to do. I think like they have like like this like male figure that's like telling her what to do, and they're trying to say like this isn't great that this male drunk figure is telling this young female how to live her life and how to do her job and stuff like that. But it's also like it's kind of like I don't like I Roberto does grow into a pretty decent character, but I don't know if it's necessary per se. But it's interesting what they try and do with that, I guess.
Okay.
But
so you would recommend it, though?
I recommend it. It's a love-hate relationship that I have with this thing. I really like the parts of it that I like, and I really dislike the parts of it that I dislike. Mostly the things that verge away from original Trigun and make it less like original Trigun that I love so much. So yeah, I would recommend it though. Only if you've watched the original Trigun. That's my caveat there. You cannot watch this thing without watching the original Trigun straight up. You will spoil the entire plot of the original Trigun very quickly if you watch this thing first. Despite it being sort of a remake sort of thing. But yeah, it's good. It's good. So yeah, and then Fate Strange Fake has been good. It's Fate. I love it. I could go on and on about Nasuverse things. I won't, but I love my Nasuverse. I'm super excited. I will say that I saw the other day that UFO Table announced that they are making a animated adaptation of Witch on the Holy Night, and that is very exciting because that's the last like piece of like Nasuverse stuff that hasn't been animated besides like Tsukihime, which they did that really bad anime a long time ago of Tsukihime, but it's very exciting that Witch on the Holy Night is getting animated. That's Nasu's latest sort of visual novel, quote unquote. It's not really a visual novel. It's people call it a kinetic novel. There's no choices you make during it. You just kind of click through it. But it's really good. It's a really good story. And it ties in with both Tsukihime and Garden of Sinners, so in interesting ways. So it's a really important piece if you're a Nasuverse freak like I am. So I've already read the kinetic novel, obviously, but I'll definitely be checking out the anime because it'll be really cool to see some of that stuff animated. Because there's a lot of cool Nasuverse magic involved in that thing, and I want to see that stuff animated. So But yeah, and then JJK season 3 has been great. It's JJK, it's good. Yeah, Freerun, I gotta watch a few episodes of. It's just been really slow this season. I haven't really liked it that much. It's a good looking anime, but there's not a whole lot going on with that thing, to be honest. Like, season 1 was a lot more interesting than season 2, straight up. So they need to do more to wow with season 2 than they just aren't. So and then I gave Sentence to Be Hero another shot. And I kind of wrote it off the first like couple episodes. I was like, yeah, I don't know if this is for me, but I gave it another shot. I ended up liking it okay. It gets pretty interesting. It subverts some tropes, and it's just an overall interesting hero that's an anti-hero but it's really a hero sort of story. And it's got some good characters and some good action. And yeah, it's a interesting show. I've enjoyed it. So
okay,
yep. Good. That's my anime corner.
Anime corner, love it. Yeah, kind of a low key pod. I like it though. It's good to kind of just bang one of these out. Played some stuff, talked about some stuff, had a nice little topic. Feels good to kind of get back in the swing of things. And speaking of, we will be recording our Dark Souls podcast next time. It's going to be extensive.
Yep.
We're going to be very pedantic about it. We're going to be very very drilled down in it, in the weeds. Yes, that's a good term for it. So look for that. That's going to be fun. That's going to be part of our Golden series. So we'll see the format, what we're going to do with it, but it should be at least recorded next week, and we will figure out what to do from there. So look forward to all that. I would love to watch Paprika this spring. That's what I want to do.
Yeah, I think I own that on DVD. I think
we
I bought
should
that
do
on
that.
DVD. So. Yep.
We should do that before the summertime. I would love to do that. We can do a tape stuck here and there to kind of throw it in the old backlog there. And I would love to watch that with you. So that might be after the Dark Souls thing, and then we'll figure it out. So as always, thank you for listening to these. We love doing them. They're very fun. It's nice to check in and keep track of things. And I'm having a good time. It's been a good time playing games this year so far. I think by next week I'll be more on fire. I'll be more on fire for playing games next week, I think. So
cool. Nice. Yeah,
just one of those I have a lot of ennui, you know what I mean? Like a lot of like, I don't know, man, just like kind of like dragging myself to do some things. It's been very, very busy lately for me. But anyway, this has been Stick Drift. Noah, thank you for joining me. I appreciate you.
Yeah, it's been fun.
Video games are good. And like Dave Damashek says, it's been a little slice of heaven. We love you guys. Goodbye. Mwah.
Drift on.